Hello, everybody, and welcome along to the InGear Motorsport live stream. You join us tonight for our new Italian-based championship, 3 Italian tracks starting at Misano for rounds 1 and 2 tonight. I'm Mackenzie, if you've not seen this before, and this is Charlotte next to me. How's it all going?
Yeah, all good. Christmas run up, just getting everything ready. How about you?
Yeah,
not getting everything ready because I'm doing it. Yeah,
just stopped pretty much for the first time. I think. Well, tomorrow still. I've still got stuff to do. So, yeah, looking forward to Christmas break very, very soon. Just realised you haven't had your festive themed headwear on yet, but we'll have to sort that out in a minute.
BRB.
So we're nothing if not prepared.
My snowflake.
There we are. If that doesn't get a comment in the chat for the stream tonight, I don't know what will.
I do have others as well. I need to get them.
Maybe when we come back later on, you can have another one.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Well, welcome along. This is our usual format if you've joined us before, but for those that haven't perhaps seen the stream before, we'll take a look at the timetable so you can see what's coming up tonight for tonight's action. So 2 30-minute races for the drivers. For those that are competing in the series, that will mean 2 opportunities to score points tonight, 2 qualifying sessions for each. So starting off then with qualifying that's just literally going out right now, drivers making way out of the pit lane. We'll be jumping in game very, very shortly to see the action for that. And then starting with the first race at around 10 to 8. Moving on from that, they'll then have a short break just for about 10 minutes. We can have a little digress over the race that's just happened, see what we make of it. And then the drivers will do it all again and go for another 15-minute qualifying at 8:35 and another race by 8:55. Should be pretty much all done and dusted by 9:30 tonight. One really important thing though, if you are tuning in, is that around halfway through race 2, you'll be able to vote for a driver of the day. Driver of the day then gets a championship point to go towards their overall points tally. So plenty to play for. We also have success ballast in operation. So our wonderful race director in the background will apply that to the cars that finish 1st, 2nd and 3rd if they're competing in the championship ahead of the second race for tonight. So not massive amounts, but 15 kilograms for the winner, 12 for second, and 5 for third.
Enough to make a little bit of a difference, I would say.
Enough just to slow them down if they're going too fast. Coming off the back of our Porsche Championship, Dom Stallman managed to clinch the title once again after some really good runs lately. I think he had to work a bit harder last time out, and I'm looking forward to seeing if the guys can continue to push him. You could argue that he had a bit of luck in that last series. He still got the job done and kept the car on the track when others fell off, so absolutely deserved. But he didn't quite have the pace that he has had in other series. So interesting to see if he's back to that sort of normal pace being on the road, or if the guys are still pushing him sort of over the line for this series.
Yeah, I think it was clear from the last series that everyone else's pace has got closer to Dom's. But like you say, he is the person that is managing to consistently do the job and not put a foot wrong. So you can argue that it's luck, but it's also kind of one of those things you make your own luck as well. And he manages to always put his car in the right position and be consistent. And it's very, very rare that we see him actually make a mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that precision's definitely took him to the titles so far. But I think let's go ahead and jump into the game, shall we, and see what's happening in qualifying. It is actually wet, which is ironic because the entire week on the same weather settings in the server, it's been nice and dry and fairly hot. So the game likes to throw up a few randoms every now and then. I saw Danny Price was potentially trying to make his way in, so you never know whether that's something to do with him coming in last minute there. But he's always doing a bit of a rain dance. And to be fair, most of the Shiba Garage team do enjoy a bit of rain, don't they?
I'm pleased that it's raining. I'm always saying to the guys, let's get it raining a little bit more. That's what we was hoping for in the last race. 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago, whenever it was.
Yeah, we were hoping for a little bit. All right, well, we've jumped in game. Don't know if I've got game audio, have you?
I haven't got game audio at the moment. Hint, hint, Mr.
Wonder if Red Stretch needs to have himself a little carrot monster or not.
Perfect, but the grid is looking pretty strong out there. I think we've got, 30 cars out there when we last looked, so the server's filling up nicely.
Yeah, and most of the drivers have opted to take Italian cars for the Italian series. There'll be a few hovers in there that are in something else, but you'll see mostly so far it's Ferraris and Lamborghinis, such as the order at the moment pretty much was, until I started talking D. Stallman, Chrissy Palmer and Ferrari. But Salvateria in an Aston Martin just popped into the middle there. Neil Kidd in the Reiter Lamborghini machine is in 5th at the moment. And Bjorkman in the Lamborghini, who was racing with us in the Porsche Cup and had some serious pace, just a little bit lacking in consistency, and a few mistakes cost him probably finishing higher up, I would say. But he's back joining us again, so it's good to see him. And Mr. Kirky Heath is there in 8th at the moment. And we should probably jump on to Kirk Heath's car, because they've put some serious effort into that livery. It looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and while Mr. Race Director Ben's doing that, if anyone has just fallen onto the stream and maybe hasn't seen stuff that we've been putting on Instagram, do you just want to talk about why there's such a strong Italian theme? Is that by coincidence, or is it a certain championship?
We actually just put polls into the Discord for our guys to vote on. So we're all about kind of the community side of things as a league. It's relatively small compared to some of the other ones that you see out there, but we have a close-knit community. Everyone kind of takes a vote on what types of series they want to do. So we had a Porsche Cup previously. This was the next one up, which is Italian cars, Italian tracks. And the people that have entered will have entered with an Italian car, and will be fighting for points in the series. So yeah, just something that everyone wanted to do. There's 3 really amazing Italian circuits in this game. Misano that we're at now, relatively short circuit, about just over 2.5 miles long, something like that. And then we'll go to Monza for race 2, which I think needs no more introduction than that. Always plenty of good racing there. So the car disappears off the screen into the wall in the background. Yeah. Luckily, that won't hurt because it's in the virtual world. And then coming to a final 90-minute race at Imola in about just over a month's time. So we're now operating every other week for our live stream championship races. So in 2 weeks' time, which will be next year now, we'll be back for the next round. So Christmas and New Year will between this one and the next one. But yeah, it'd be nice just to kind of get a few races in over like I say, a month and a half, and see who's the winner at the end of it. So there'll be 5 opportunities to score points over the whole course of it.
And just notice an M Taylor on the screen there. Have you joined? Are you multitasking, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I've got my hand on a controller down the back of the screen here. No, it's quite funny, isn't it? So I think it's Matthew Taylor, who's just a pubber who happens to have joined last minute. So he's filling the M Taylor role for us. I'd like to see him move up a little bit higher on the grid though, but you know, he's got time yet. We'll see how he goes. In an Audi as well, so yeah, you could argue that Lamborghini and Audi are all under the same group. Maybe that's the Italian link there. But yeah, he doesn't know about the
Clutching
Italian
straws
thing.
there, I think. Clutching at the straw. Really good shot there of Mr. Heath or Kirk or Jeff Badgers, whatever, out of the many names that he's got. Probably worth mentioning here that he was helping us last round, wasn't he? Which was really good to have him in the stream. But he's back racing this week. He didn't get on too well with the Porsches, did he? But I think he seems a little bit more happy in the Lambo this time.
Yeah, he retired to the safety of the commentary box.
Yeah. So do you want to explain the theme that's behind the car then, because you've seen it a little bit more than what I have so far?
Yeah, well, it's an old classic warbird. If you think of the old sort of World War warbirds that you might see, that's what the mouth is on the front, and then depending on the quality of the stream to look at it, you might sort of catch the finer details. And one of his nicknames is Jeff Badgers, so on the back of the car is some badgers. And in fact, if we jump onto the sort of chase cam of the car, which our wonderful race director can do in the background of Mr. Heath's car, we should be able to get a slightly closer look at some of those graphics. There we are, as if by magic. I think it's on the side of the car. Get a nice good look at this livery.
That was quite good timing.
Yeah.
Him coming into the
pits. Yeah, it's got some nice little decorations around the side of the car. Some Space Invaders on the door actually, which I hadn't seen before. So the detail though of actually adding all the rivets and bolts along the car, that's actually added individually, and that was Liam Sharman that done that for the guys this time. So that's the West Midlands team that Heath races for. Sharman made those liveries. He's done a really good job with them, which is great. And I just want to check in the chat, see if anyone said hello. Nothing yet, but do say hello if you're watching along. Let us know, because we do see it, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook or YouTube. We will see it, and Charlotte and I can give you a shout out or read out any funny jokes you might have for us, or whatever you fancy. Pop it in the chat. Should be careful saying that, but there we are.
Keep it PC.
Okay, so let's take a look at the slightly sharper end of the grid then, as we've now got 5 minutes left on the clock for qualifying. It comes to an end very quickly in this. And it's a particularly hard track anyway, but with a bit of rain thrown in, you can see the cars sliding around. We've seen a couple of cars disappear off in the background already. Mr. Stallman then currently on provisional pole. Curran, one of the Scots, in second. Bjorkman, the Swede, in third. 3 nationalities in the top 3 then so far. Salvatierra, I would hazard a guess, is quite an Italian sounding name, but apologies if it's not. So that's 4 different nationalities in the top 4, and then Chrissy's the first Englishman, which makes it 5. So quite cool to see, isn't it?
Pretty good, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. International.
Just want to give a bit of credit here to Curran, because Curran has been very, very fast in the last few rounds and few races that we've been in, haven't we? So you never know, luck could be on his side a little bit more going into this evening and going forward in the championship as well. He doesn't really tend to put a foot wrong, does he?
No, pretty consistent.
Yeah.
The only time it goes wrong is usually when he gets caught up in an incident,
Yeah.
so it's not normally his fault, you're right. So, going well at the minute, and I saw he was on testing the other night, but I don't know how much he's done overall. What's, I know, a bit of a bummer for some of them, but it is just the way it goes, is that they've done a lot of dry testing, and then they've joined the server tonight for race night, and it's raining. But I think that's quite apt for the Winter Series. I have been in Italy many a times, and it does actually rain over there, despite popular belief. They do have rain as well. So D. Stallman then coming into turn 1 to start his next lap at the moment. Let's ride on board with him, shall we, so that we can go and oh, just in time, look.
Here we go again.
I swear we have a little button or something. Every time we do that, that happens to him. And that's what the guys will not want to be doing in the race tonight, which we still are, of course, yet to see what the weather will be like. Somewhere around 6 PM in the evening when it happens.
Cool, so let's take a little look further down the grid and just see what's going on there. So we know that we've got kind of the main crew up in the top 5. Chrissy's dropped down a space. Has Chrissy spent much time on here over the last week or so or not? You tend to have your calls with Chrissy, so you know what he's up to.
That's giving me a little update every now and then. Yeah, he's done a fair bit of testing, but he's one of the ones that's definitely done quite a lot of dry weather testing. So I think I could tell in his voice he wasn't particularly that happy when he joined tonight and it was raining, but at least he has a little bit of time under his belt now in the wet weather, as we see Murray bouncing over some sausage curbs, coming to a stop in the Reiter Lamborghini machine there. Very purple. So
I like it. I think it looks awesome. Sticks out as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, another good livery actually.
Yeah.
If you look at the front of the car, then they have a little Shiba dog on there because Shiba Garage. Team boss is Neil's dog, Harambe. So we've got a nice picture of a Shiba dog on the front of the car.
Is Danny Price in here this evening?
Not too sure. He hadn't at the point that we went live, but I've not seen an overall running of the standings yet. Anyone watching, we see what you see on the screen there. So if we get a nice full overview of the timings, there we go. I think that's not even the full list, is it? Because we go down a bit further. Oh yeah, there he is. He's just made it in. Not quite set a lap yet though. Number 29, Danny Price. Sorry, in 29th position, number 159. I was just thinking, why's he got another number?
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely expect to see Danny Price more sort of mid to the front pack rather than down in 21.9. When I first saw that, not realising that he hadn't set a lap, I was a bit like, what's going on there for a second? But good to see him back in it this evening as well then.
Yep.
So
sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say Heath is a little bit out of position as well compared to normal, just looking down here at 18th.
Yeah.
But I guess it's quite a big grid, isn't it, when you think about it? So
again, also, yeah, I mean that's kind of mid-pack almost, isn't it? Just below it. It's crazy actually. When you start getting 30 cars on the grid, it's quite busy. Paulina's there on chat.
I was just going to say, I just saw that before.
Hello, Paulina. Welcome back. Love to spend our Tuesday night with you again. As we tune in to watch another car and then watch it spin of Harry Melvin, this time from Year One Racing. Recently joined us for the Porsche Cup stream. Good to have him back again. It's so nice to see some of the guys kind of come back for regular series, and we can kind of pick up on their names and teams and driving styles and kind of know what to expect, which is great.
So I think InGear Media, by the sounds of it, is going to have a new team manager coming onto the scene very, very soon. So you might have to think about upgrading your livery.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like you're turfing me out of my own team, so you might you might have to expand on that one.
Yeah, so my mum has just messaged, good old Claire, who's just got a new, very, very cute puppy, who I did actually send a picture to Neil of to see if we could spark a long distance relationship between the two dogs.
I mean, her base's quite a bit bigger, but yeah.
Well, it's not go too far long distance for a reason, so that's fine. My dad would be getting involved at that point with the cement.
Yeah, there we are then. So we might have a King Charles plastered over the front of the InGear media cars at some point, which we're running with Ferraris for this. When I say we, it's pretty much just Chrissy. Oh, nice skid there for Sharman. Just in time actually for Rebecca to comment on Facebook that his sister's watching. So I'm guessing that's you, Rebecca. That was Liam in the green car going sideways across the grass there. So we'll see how he does in a minute. But he's done a fantastic job with those liveries nonetheless. They look really cool. He's made those all from scratch, which is great. Roland Stallman down in 7th. Not traditionally a fan of the wet weather too much. Not as much as Dom is. No, he's certainly enjoying it. And it looks like qualifying is kind of coming to a close. So drivers are on their laps at the moment. Final laps, another car going off across the grass. I think if it's wet for the race, we're going to be in for some action for sure.
I think that's why I always love it so much when it rains, because our mid-pack has been a really, really exciting mid-pack, more and more so over the last couple of months. And I think all it does take is that little bit of rain for it to just cause a little bit of carnage, which I don't think you mind having carnage when it's inflicted by weather and not other people, if that makes sense. It'll be good to see how that mixes everything up. We say that as a...
Awesome. Well, that is qualifying coming to an end. While the last couple of drivers cross the line, we'll do a full readout in a minute, but we'll just go to a quick break before. Welcome along then to the first race of the evening and the first round of our Italian GT3 Championship. Dominic Stallman then puts himself on pole position, back where he's very, very used to after the previous series that we've done, but can he hang on to it in these tricky wet weather conditions? Ruoff coming in there in a Mercedes AMG at the last moment, a very fast car around here in P2. Chrissy got himself up into P3 right at the end there, so he put in a lap right at the end. Good stuff by him, pulled it out of the bag. Curran in 4th, Bjorkman in 5th, Heath in 6th. Rebecca Apubba coming in 7th, Roland Stallman for Vegas in Performance in 8th, Salvateria dropped down to 9th towards the end, Ulrich is in 10th, Fay in 11th, Van Kayak in 12th, Murray in 13th, Sheba Garage, Praxis in 14th, Neil Kidd in 15th, Harry Melvin for Year 1 Racing in 16th, KV in 17th, Andy Clipson in 18th, Bennett in 19th, Mackenzie Taylor, but not me, Matthew Taylor. M. Taylor, Matthew Taylor, look, it's got me, in 20th, Tarverton in 21st, Billingham in 22nd, who's back again, Danny Price and John Kidd rounding out the grid. Yeah, I was almost panicking for a second there wasn't 2 Sheba Cup cars next to each other, but they are there.
Normality has been resumed, so it's fine.
As per what we're used to. So the drivers have just made in your last minute tweaks, getting ready to set off for the very short formation period. They have to basically stay 2 by 2 or close to it until the final approach, and then they have to slow right down and get ready for the lights to go green, and then they go racing. At this point they can actually touch each other a little bit because they just go through each other, they don't actually cause contact. But once it locks in, which is any moment kind of around now, they then have to stay at level and where they are speed-wise, waiting for the lights to go green. The lights are green and we're racing at Misano then. The first of the Italian series is underway. Looks like everyone's got a clean start. Stallman's got a nice run in the white Ferrari on the inside alongside Ruoff in the green AMG, which goes round the outside. gets the inside for turn 2. Chrissy hangs on to P3 for the moment. Curran down in 4th, holds off Bjorkman and Heath. Looking okay so far between those cars. Getting a bit close between Heath and Bjorkman there. I think Heath potentially tried to have a little go at him. Might go around the outside. But at the moment there, Rook gets a fantastic start and gets the jump on Stallman. Pretty interesting one at the back. We've got a nice fluorescent yellow car back there, a Salvateria, I think it is. But most of the front pack looking like they got away pretty cleanly there, which was good to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, good effort there by Chrissy, put in a little bit of a compromising position, but just stuck it out wide, knowing that that was going to give him the line into the next corner. So a solid start there for him.
Yeah, and actually you can see Chrissy now is all over the back of Stallman trying to find a way through. And not so much necessarily in the rain usually, but Dom, once he settles in, does then just kind of find another gear. So Chrissy will be thinking about trying to get past quite quickly, but equally that might come at the cost of letting that AMG just clamber away a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for Ralph, this is good. If he can let Stallman and Palmer just squabble for the next couple of laps, that's going to give him the breathing space that he's going to need to just get away. Chrissy is more than aware, though. Always we say that Stallman went a little bit wide there, but brought it back just in time. I
think that's Heath up to the inside of Curran there. Makes that stick. That was a last-minute move. Curran done well to get out of the way, but gave him enough space. And Heath, yeah, a bit aggressive, but actually that was a good move.
Yeah, Heath is quite an aggressive driver, actually, isn't he? But he doesn't. He manages most of the time. It's not too bad. Most of the time.
There we are then. So the cars crossed the line to begin lap 2 after a couple moves on lap 1, but relatively clean first lap, which is good to see in this tricky conditions. There's lots of very slippy painted curves and astroturfed areas. You can see kind of all the painted red sections. They are like ice in the rain at times, so you've got to be really careful. But yeah, the Warbird, the sort of grey car with the big mouth on the front, that's Kirk Heath then coming through on your screens now, followed by the Porsche of Precker. Curran then dropped a couple places down into 6th at the moment, as Chrissy puts a move then in on D. Stallman, and looks like he's got a run on him so far, gets the inside line for the next corner, and Stallman decides to back out and not fight him too hard on this occasion. So Chrissy having a good first couple laps. He's now got a job on his hands to get up to Roth in that AMG. But great stuff from the InGear Motorsport driver so far in the orange, not red, Ferrari.
I was going to say, it's very, very weird looking at an orange Ferrari and not red. I don't know if it fully suits it or not, but yeah.
It suits it better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I just saw a drive-through penalty issued. I think it said car number 5, but it wasn't the clearest picture that I had just now. Perhaps race director saw that in the background and can let me know. You can get an idea of the running order down here then. I just noticed that Gillick joined in right at the last second as well, so good to see that Grant's made it back. So
yeah, he's been here for a little while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been very busy.
And on that note, on Facebook, Rebecca, go Liam, his sister's watching, so we've got Liam's sister watching as well, which is always nice, part of the girl gang.
Yeah, and don't forget everyone, there is a driver of the day vote that you can put in the chat about halfway through race 2 onwards to give them a championship point. So do come back for that, or hopefully stick around for that, and you'll be able to put a vote in the chat and get a point for the driver of your choice, providing they get the most votes, of course. Looks like that penalty got cleared there, whatever happened. So race director obviously deemed that that wasn't necessary for that occasion, whatever it was for that car number 5. It was lower down the order, I think, so not too much of an issue for that one. But at the moment then, Chrissy Palmer on a bit of a charge, 2 seconds to the lead car. He's pulled out a little bit from Dom Stallman. One thing you've got to be careful of, when it's not complete heavy rain, and there's like a sort of dry section like this, the tyres are still prone to overheating. So you'll be careful you don't push the car too hard and get the pressures too high, because they will just go off, and you'll find you've got a lot less grip.
Yeah, and I think this is where Chrissy's real life experience will come into play, absolutely, because that's where you start looking for puddles. It's very rare that you look for a puddle unless you're in that situation where you know that you need to pull those tyres down. So if you start seeing anyone doing a little bit funky down the straight, it's because they are trying to pull their tyres down. Is that still the same in the game?
Yeah, the game does simulate these sorts of things. It's really clever, and the tyre modelling is one of the most accurate you'll ever find on a sim game in here. The developers worked with Pirelli pretty much with an open book from Pirelli of data, just to go, look, see how accurate you can make it. Let's just jump a bit down the order and see how the likes of Neil Kidd, Danny Price, John Kidd, Melvin, and some of those guys are getting on. So Kidd into 9th at the moment, followed by Murray, who I think was a little bit further down the order. I know he was the highest placed driver, so it's Kidd that's actually gained a couple of slots there. Melvin just on the back of them for Year 1 Racing in 11th at the moment.
Do you want to hear my prediction?
Go
on. Murray and Melvin will get in front of Kidd for a little while. Kidd will sit back, watch it unleash, and then he'll take the position back. That's my prediction with it. He's very, very good at that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, won't it? Like you say, he is the one just to not fall off, just keep going. At the moment, though, he's the man under pressure. And if you remember at Catalonia in the Porsche Cup, Murray was catching Kidd in a similar sort of situation. And then when he went for the move, they ended up having a bit of contact and both losing a few places. And I think it was Melvin that was around there as well. So it's funny how the same sort of drivers end up near each other on the track each time.
Yeah, so let's take a little look down then. Let's find where Danny Price is, because he qualified completely out of place to where he normally does. So I don't know whether he managed to even get a lap in. So he's managed to pull himself back from, what was it, P20 something into straight.
He's almost 30 something.
Yeah, like 28th or something. What a run from him. Point. So straight away into P16, and that's more like it from Danny. And he looks like he's just waiting to size up Bingham there, isn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's managed to get his livery installed in time. Looks like he's running the one of the in-game ones, but I'm not quite sure with the way the stream's looking. But yeah, good start by him. What about Billingham? Yeah, sorry, and again his livery's not quite there, but he had some nice Krispy Kreme logos all over the side of that car, which was quite nice to see.
So random.
His name in Discord is Krispy Kreme, so we said that he had to put Krispy Kreme logos on his car, and he did it. Although, for whatever reason, we can't see them, whatever's happened with the server there, but such is the way with custom livery sometimes. Okay, what about Rebecca's watching for Sharman, isn't she? So we'll go and see where Sharman is, what he's up to. Although these guys look like they're having a bit of a ding-dong coming into turn 1, don't they?
I think they've got a couple more corners, though, before a move is there. Oh!
Billingham potentially going a bit tighter than normal there into turn 2. But fighting off Danny Price at the moment. Danny, who we know is pretty handy in the wet weather, also likes the rain. So partly probably where he's come through so far already is because of the fact he just loves a bit of rain. But yeah, he's definitely out of place. I think where he joined last minute probably didn't get the best of qualifyings, and is now kind of just paving his way through. So what else do we have? Yeah, I think he's dropped back a little bit, potentially to take another run. Let's go that little bit further down and see Sharman then, and how the West Midlands driver's doing. There he is in the green Warbird machine with the nice big open mouth with Rowan Stallman behind him. So potentially means, and there's Gillick as well. There we are, the two Warbirds flying together, which is quite nice.
They look really cool, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, no, very cool stuff in the Lamborghinis there. So you've got Roland Stallman then, the white Ferrari coming up on the back of this green Lamborghini here, which is Liam Sharman, being chased by Roland Stallman. So Roland, a little bit out of position, he was much higher up on the grid, so he must have had something happen as that looked very close. Gillick going up the inside there. Yeah. Gillick up the inside of Bennett, and looks like the others are going to try and capitalise on that move as well. It almost looks
like Bennett is trying to pull over or do something, but he's actually causing almost... I'm struggling to...
No, he's got back past again.
Yeah.
So Bennett holds off Gillick. Great little scrap here, and these guys are fighting for 21st
having
place.
To work for that as well. That's not
good effort.
Yeah, it's very unusual to see our Roland Stallman, so father-son duo, in this position. It is out of position, but great drive by Sharman and Gillick. We have to remember they're fairly new to this, aren't they? Still in the grand scheme of it and the time that they're able to put in.
Yeah, they don't quite get the testing that some of the others do with work, I know. So. And that's a big part of this. You've got to get those hours in. But yeah, great little scrap going on by those. I think Roland manages to get past then Sharman for the moment. I think that sort of that situation with Bennett there just cost Liam a couple places.
Yeah, I think as well though, if Sharman can just keep Stallman in his eyesight and almost mimic what he's doing, which I know is very much easier said than done, but that's a great opportunity to almost kind of get dragged along with him.
And You might have noticed there's two Stallmans if you're joining for the first time. One is Roland Stallman, who we were just talking about, who is the father of Dominic Stallman, who was on pole for this race but had dropped a third last we checked.
It's becoming a bit of a family fair now, isn't it? Because we've got the Kidd brothers as well. So we've got Neil Kidd and John Kidd, so in the Sheba Garage cars there as well.
Us in the commentary box.
Yeah.
Just drag my wife along to live streams on a regular basis.
Thanks.
You love it, really, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do. I miss racing.
All right, well, shall we hop back on up to the front of the grid, because there's a high chance that Chrissy's either caught and passed or about to catch that AAG. Look at that, half a second.
Half a second, well done. Very good timing there, very good timing.
And in fact, let's ride on board with Chrissy if we can and just size up what's going on as he tries to get past. No, Chrissy's all right. He's fine. He can deal with the pressure of commentating.
As Mackenzie's touching.
I'm touching wood. Yeah. And it'll give us a chance to have a little look at the track as we go. We're about halfway around the lap at the moment, coming into a tight double right-hand section before we then open out into the faster section of the track. Chrissy opts for a tighter line there by the looks of it. Might compromise his exit a little bit, but we'll see. Ferrari is very, very twitchy compared to that AMG. I mean, the AMG can snap, but interesting, both the drivers running offline there to try and cool their tyres, just like Charlotte was saying earlier on. So flat out right-hander, close to flat right-hander after that. Here we go, and then hard on the brakes, get the car slowed down, and then the AMG of Roth goes a bit wide. Chrissy getting a better line through the hairpin as we come to the penultimate stages of this lap. Chrissy will be looking to try and find a way past. They've pulled out a 7-second gap to to Kurt Heath, who's in P3 at the moment. So something happened there that Dean Stallman has dropped back a little bit. Whether that was an ambitious move somewhere along the line that's cost him, or something else, I don't know. But these guys have just pulled out into a little bit of a league of their own at the moment. That said though, one incident, one wrong move, getting this job done with Chrissy trying to get past, and it could all end in tears too. Just like 2020 ending in tears. You're welcome.
I mean,
I'm here all night.
We've got to laugh because if not, we'll cry over that one. So
we'll keep in the background.
Yeah, we'll keep on board with these guys here, Mr. Race Director. But just before you can think about flipping across or anything, but Neil Kidd has managed to fend off Murray as well. And Melvin has dropped down somewhere on the grid, so we'll take a look at that. But why Chrissy is literally only 2-3 tenths off of. Are we going
Roth. It's a German name. I apologize. Well, I think it is. I'm sorry, German.
I mean, there is a reason why I dropped out of both languages at secondary.
Okay, well, who's still with us watching along in chat? Give us a little hello. Let us know you're watching. How are your Christmas plans shaping up? How is everyone?
Yeah,
how are you coping with the chaos of 2020?
Yeah, and we haven't really spoken about this for a little while, but this has become, I think, for everyone quite important on this online streaming. It's become much more popular and being given the credit that it's been deserved over the last year or so. You know, it's a crazy year, isn't it, for everyone? So this is where InGear Motorsport decided, right, okay, here's the time to actually, you've got the time to kind of put the time and effort into it and get a little community going. So if you are thinking about you want to start getting involved in these races, or maybe just being become part of it in some way or whatever, join the Discord. You can just drop in, you can start chatting to the guys. It's a really nice community that you've built up, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's kind of gradually growing all the time. I think we're focusing on, you know, just keeping it nice and friendly. And well, as I was talking, Chrissy looks like he's going up the inside there. I'll have to stop. Looks like he's going to make that stick, and does. Gives just enough room, but not any more than necessary. No,
closed that off nicely there as well.
Nice little move there. So Chrissy Palmer takes the lead then for InGear Motorsport of this race.
Well, that was good timing as we was plugging InGear Motorsport.
Yeah, there we are. And on that note, InGear Motorsport cars, as much as I would love it, don't go out and win every single race of the series. Chrissy's had a bit of a hard time in the last couple of races. Hasn't managed to make them all, had a couple of issues here and there, got taken out. So it's normally actually Dominic Stallman that's been winning so far in the last couple of races that we've ran. Chrissy's been fast, but I'm trying to jinx it again.
I know, because I was going to say the same thing earlier. I was like, I'm not going to say it.
as Roth looks a little bit dangerous coming into the inside there. The drivers reached the halfway mark of this race, so quite a bit still to go on. Just had a question pop up in one of the chats. Must be a newcomer to motorsport. Ask if the cars are auto or manual.
I don't think he's got much experience, do you?
Well, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Well, so, yeah, that's true. Everyone has got. No, I mean, it must be unfortunate to have daughter that can drive better for you. So yeah.
These are manual cars, but they're sequential gearboxes, so they have what you call paddle shifts on the back of the steering wheel, and you can click up and down the gear shifts as required. So right to go up, left to go down. As Roth goes off into the gravel, trying to catch Chrissy in second place there. Hopefully you can get going again. You okay? Charlotte's just laughing at her poor father, who just wanted to know if the cars are manual or auto.
It's like he's never been to a track before.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, right, I'm back in the room.
Well, there you go. Chrissy's got himself a nice 9-second lead now, and that puts Kurt Heath within striking distance of second place tonight, which that's great for him as well, because he's had some tough times in recent races. So nice to see he's right at the sharp end of this. Currently ahead of Stallman by 5.4 seconds. So Dominic Stallman is actually coming back with some fair bit of pace there. Neil Kidd is still in sixth at the moment, 1.1 seconds ahead of 6 seconds ahead of Salvatierra. And here's Billingham then having a bit of a battle with Price. You remember earlier on they were running quite closely together. Bjorkman's just up the road from this little gaggle of cars as well. So we've actually got Kidd, Murray, Klimpson, Bjorkman, Billingham, Price, who all race regularly together, quite close together on track.
So just going to point out the obvious here. Danny Price is having a storming drive, like P27, P28 in qualifying. So either he didn't settle up or just something, or come in really, really late for whatever reason. Either way, well out of place where he is. But yeah, literally made his way halfway up the grid. I mean, is he going to do a Perez, start last and finish the race, then get signed by Red Bull? I mean, there's a space going at the moment.
There is a space going at Red Bull Esports team, isn't there? At the moment? Well, it's not their esports team, but they're partnered with them. I don't actually know the full set up there, but yeah. Anyway,
sorry, I was having a bit of a twist earlier.
Well, there you go. I mean, Billingham, to be fair as well, in what was a 30-car grid at one point, a few have dropped out, is running in 11th, which is a really good effort by him. So, yeah, Ryan Billingham joined us for the first time during the Porsche Cup. He said, known as Krispy Kreme in Discord. For whatever reason, they all like a different name. There should be some Krispy Kreme logos on the side of that car, but we'll see if we can get that sorted for next time. I'm guessing he's a Hamilton fan as well, because he runs number 44 throughout most of the races. But currently has a rear mirror full of Danny Price, the Shiba garage driver in the Reiter Lamborghini, trying to find a way through on his charge, as Charlotte says, from the back row of the grid, currently into 12th place, hoping to get into 11th in the next couple of laps. And we're not too far over half race distance. There's 11.5 minutes on the clock still. Danny could get another couple of places yet.
Yeah, I undoubtedly he's probably going to get another couple of places. It's probably going to get harder and harder to pick them off as you get further up the grid, because for obvious reasons. But as we say that, and nicely avoided. That would
good dodge.
Yeah. Seriously good dodge.
Cat-like reflexes there from Mr. Danny Price. So, nicely done.
I'm just having a little bit of a spin there, but he's back up and going now. It looks like, is that? I saw a flash of like pink or red, and I thought it was Stallman for a minute. If we just pop further back down the grid, so yeah, I must have seen him in the background, so I'm not going crazy
White
there.
Ferrari of Roland Stallman.
Yeah, so Stallman's making his way back up the grid quite nicely there, isn't he? I mean, again, he was well out of place for where he normally is, but we know that he's not probably the biggest fan of wet weather driving, probably into fair weather driving maybe a little bit more in there. Let's check in then on Sharman. Let's see how he's doing, if we can just drop the camera down there.
There it is. Brother of Neil Kidd then, John Kidd, currently just ahead of Sharman, who's
So
having a
he's not
great battle
running
with
the-
Gillick.
he's- Oh,
So Gillick, the black of the two cars there, Sharman, the sort of khaki green, having a great little fight between each other in 18th and 19th at the moment. Also, we're a bit further down the grid as a result of some of the things going on, are now a bit higher up. Melvin must have had an incident somewhere as well, currently down in 17th, which is a little bit of a shame. But yeah, great little scrap between these two. So again, Sharman in the lead of the two cars. Gillick lets to go to the inside and then has to go a bit wide into the following corner and somehow kept that on the track on the slippery Astro turf, which is, yeah, really hard to try and control the car on. Oh, and off he goes back of shot from left to right a little bit fast there. So I think Sharman's got himself a bit of breathing space for a minute as he comes past K.V, who is having a little spin all of his own.
it almost seems like it might be getting a little bit wetter out there.
Yeah, or I have noticed some drivers trying to cool their tyres, like you were saying earlier, so perhaps some of them are getting hot, and rears get hot, they lose grip once they get too hot. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so there is Sharman. Oh, look at this pack then. Murray having a battle with Price and Billingham now. Only one. It looks like Billingham was looking up the inside of Price then as we come into this section of the track. What's going to happen there? Billingham's the one that seems to come off worse and has gone wide there. We didn't quite catch exactly what happened, but it looked like he went for a move that either he had to back out of or after a little tap with Danny Price didn't quite make it work. But once again, we have two Sheba Garage cars running neck and neck. The purple of the cars is Mr. David Murray. Second of the two is Danny Price. Nice little scrap once again. They're always running close together, these guys, wherever they happen to go. And yet, Danny Price is not running his team livery. Wonder what the championship director would say about that.
That's what was confusing me earlier, because I didn't think John Kidd was. Now, if my dad was race director or championship director like he was before, he was quite known within a certain era of motorsport to stop people from even getting onto the grids if they didn't have certain TV sponsorship stickers on there. Rightly so, though. If they paid for the sponsorship, they need to be on there. It's all part of it. It's a very key part of motorsport is sponsorship, as we all know. So, yeah, I'll give my dad that one.
I mean, you have just laughed at him a moment ago.
Credit where credit's due.
So, coming towards the end of a race in the rain like this, what do you think would be going through the head, particularly the guys towards the front? What are you thinking about right now? What are the do's and don'ts?
Well, I was going to say, is it Chrissy Palmer? Because there's probably a couple of different mindsets depending on who it is. So I think it's just really important that you keep your head down. I think it's crucial for this stage. Just try and probably get a little bit of a gap, a bit more of a gap than what there already is, especially when you see that it's Dom Stallman who's now running in P2. He's got a habit of doing this in the sort of last third of the race, creeping his way back up if he has had a drama. Chrissy just needs to stay focused now. Touch wood, it doesn't happen, but Chrissy does sometimes throw it off, doesn't he?
Don't say that.
Trying to avoid saying. But
as Roth goes neck and neck with Curran at the moment.
Oh!
I don't know whether that was Curran regaining racing line or Roth going a bit too aggressive there, but definitely contact made between the AMG and the Lamborghini in that one. That wasn't the nicest of moves.
That looked a little bit like, from both sides, Curran probably shouldn't have gone across when he did, but again, at the same time, yeah, Roth was maybe should have backed out at that point because Curran was ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not competing in the series, which is a bit of a shame as well. Because if what usually happens is we have post-race stewarding, so we can look at replays and edit the results based on what we see, so we can investigate it properly at that point. But yeah, not 100% sure on that one. I would say at first glance racing incident, but I've got a half pixelated stream here in commentary box that I'm trying to watch it on, so you know, not 100% sure. Curran either come across to the racing line and didn't know that Roth was there, or Ross kind of went and turned into the corner a bit too soon and clipped the back of Curran's car. So, not sure which it is. As it happens, it looks like Curran's still running in 6th, so he's only lost a couple places, which is still not ideal, but good solid championship points. Not too big a dent for him at this stage of the race. So, definitely done okay there. But yeah, like you say, Dominic Stallman got himself back into P2, so he got past Heath at some point while we're checking out that battle lower down the grid. We almost don't have enough cameras sometimes to keep on top of it all. But Chrissy Palmer, 22 seconds nearly out in the lead. An absolutely sublime race for him as a man that didn't seem too pleased about the fact it was raining when we started this qualifying session earlier. So, yeah, qualified fairly well, got himself into the lead after the leaders had a bit of a squabble, and then here he is.
Yeah, and Mackenzie's just having a little look back at what happened, that incident between Curran and Wolf there.
It's still really hard to tell, and on our bigger streams we'll have replays up for people to watch, but it does look like Curran just comes back onto the racing line, but at the same time Ross turning into the corner. But I don't think, you know, Roth would be doing that deliberately. Roth could have given more room.
Yeah, I would say that's
but
right.
I don't know why Curran's coming across the right-hand side of the track before the
it looks like,
corner.
to me, it looks like Curran's trying to cool his tyres down. He's come back across, hasn't seen Roth. He is ahead going into the corner. He is ahead, and Roth just turns in. Now, Roth should have been able to have seen him there. Yeah, is my opinion on that one. So without seeing any car
if you're trying to go around the outside, you also wouldn't expect the car on the inside line to come to the outside of the track at the entry to a corner.
I would say that Curran's far enough ahead that he can see him.
Well, like I say, we'll have a proper look at that afterwards when we can look at it from different angles. It's always hard to do unless you've got somebody in a stewarding role, which we'd love to have. So if anyone wants to get involved in other areas of this game, that is all stuff that is necessary for people to come in and look at replay files in game and be able to check stuff out, because stuff does happen. But yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate one for Curran. But like I said, he's luckily not lost too many places, so we shall see. All right, so John Kidd up into 14th. Nice effort by him. Liam Sharman in 16th, and Billingham after that little incident earlier on, still not too far down the order in 15th. But yeah, good race for Sharman as well, coming through the pack. Quite a few places gained from where he started. Gillick would have been there with him, but had a bit of an incident.
Very good race for John Kidd.
Yeah.
Very, very good race. I would say for a grid that is the size that it is, currently if he was to finish the race now, maybe his best finish.
No, he's definitely had some 10ths or 11ths. Oh,
in the grid, but I'm talking about the grid size.
Yeah, because what have we got in the server still? It's always
I'm
hard
really struggling to see it, yeah.
20 drivers still here, so pretty strong grid still even at this point. Well, look at this then. Roth has just caught himself back up to Heath, who is not too far behind Stallman. This is going to be an interesting final couple of minutes here, isn't it? Or final 3 minutes and 50 seconds as the clock continues to tick down. When the clock hits 0, the drivers will continue to finish the lap that they're on, and then the checkered flag will be out for the race leader, which currently is Chrissy Palmer. Then some distance back is Dominic Stallman. I mean, Chrissy could just about have himself a banker pit stop if he fancies some fresh tyres. He's put an absolute stonking effort in for this one, which is really, really good to see. But yeah, these three are about to have a right little final battle for the next step of the podium. So they're fighting for second and third here. And the last of the cars at the moment is Roth, who we saw tangled in that incident with Curran, which, you know, he actually lost some time out of as well. It's still hard to tell 100% on that one, but yeah, Curran definitely.
If you wanted my view, then.
Oh, there you go. Well, that might be karma right there then, as Roth spins at the last turn. Let's just catch that though if we can, because he might be in the way for someone else. So we go back to Roth. Yeah, okay. So he manages to get going again after that little spin. Just shows you, especially at this stage of the race as well, how tricky it is to keep the car going the right way. The tyres will be getting a bit hot, perhaps a bit worn down. But you've got Kidd battling with Curran as Curran goes around the outside of Kidd in the background there. Great little fight going on. This is Neil Kidd there. We were looking at the brother John Kidd before as Chrissy Palmer starts his last lap of the race here at Misano for what's been a dramatic first race.
I always love it when it rains. It's always good. Especially because everyone seems fairly close in pace. Everyone that's out there is racing against someone, which is exactly what we want to see.
Now, I wonder who we have available in our chats for afterwards. We don't have. Oh, we do have Michael Curran. I'll be interested just to poke the stick a little bit and see what he says afterwards.
Poke the stick or poke the bear?
Poke the bear with a stick. That's what I mean. I just
get it right, mate.
It's a fun game. Just poke a stick along the floor.
Jesus, if that's all we've done, I would have got you a stick for Christmas.
I'm just excited watching this battle as Roth looks like he's gone off again. Now it's a real losing battle once you get your rear tyres overheated.
Yeah, it's not a fun place to be.
Do you know why that is? Because you make the mistake once and you just continue to pay for it.
You threw it in there. For anyone that's new to watching, Mackenzie will squeeze that in every single race, like whatever.
Well, here he is then, man of the race. That looked like either Danny Price or John Kidd rejoining the track. So we've got a few positions to clear up. Luckily for us, Mr. Race Director grabs the race results at the end of this.
Well reminded.
And he said thank you because he does sometimes forget in my ear just now, so you're welcome. No worries, Ben.
It's because he has too much monster. Should he get them?
Well, there you go. Chrissy Palmer for InGear Motorsport. An absolutely stonking victory. 20-something plus seconds plus ahead of the car behind. Takes the win then for the first race at Misano. Well done to Chrissy for that one. Great effort. Chipped away at it and just kept building that gap up. Then after a little bit of a hiccup around the sort of early stages of the race, Dominic Stallman comes in a solid second place. Although Kirk Heath pushing him across the line nearly there for the last few laps, but manages to hold on to it. Great, so that's a podium for Heath for West Midlands Racing. So that's team-wise, InGear Motorsport, Vegas In Performance, and West Midlands Racing first, second, and third.
And Shiva in fourth as well.
Shiva Garage in fourth. Michael Curran, one of the regulars, not a team, but races on his own, and one of the regulars in fifth. Clemson down there in seventh as well. So what was nice to see, we had around 15, 16 of our regular drivers, and about another 15 or so pubbers come in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all of our guys that kind of come in the top spots there, which was good to see. And I think the quality of the driving in our little community is just going up all the time.
Yeah, 100%. And Danny Price again, P12. We left him, I think he was in P14 or something, managed to chip away and get another 2 positions.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him get some points actually at the end of that. Liam Sharman in the pits there, probably where he's just finished the race.
That would be my driver of the day, or driver of the
Danny
race.
Price.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go. I mean, hopefully Paulina's there in the background for the driver of the day vote during race 2, because Danny Price definitely deserves it, based off race 1 anyway, that's for sure. Well then, if we have a quick look at the full order before it gets too chaotic, because there was 34 drivers that started that race.
Gonna say my bit now. I'm so pleased that they still include the DNFs, because it, as we know, it's been my pet peeve, because actually for people that may look like they started slightly, or finished, sorry, slightly further back on the grid, actually no, they stuck it out and they finished the race, and you know, out of 34 they've come whatever. You know, it's a good effort, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, it's nice to see a bit more, because it helps with the guys like that are newer to it. I'm just looking at M Taylor on there again. I didn't have the best race there apparently. I came 28th. But there we go. So if we just go back up to the top, so we can see the top sort of 10. Oh, we can't, ladies and gents, on stream, but luckily I can for once. Have a look at my end. So yeah, Chrissy Palmer then 27 seconds ahead at the end of that race for Dominic Stallman in second. Now that will mean that Chrissy gets a little bit of success ballast from race 2, 15 kilos. Dominic Stallman will get 12, and Dominic Stallman will actually get 10, and Heath will get 5. So
has Heath had to drive with ballast on before?
No, but then 5 kilos is just like having a bit more fuel, I guess, so he should be alright with that.
Good effort, very good effort from Neil Kidd. Sorry, I'm just reabsorbing the things here, but we said we'll sit back, let him, you know, he'll sit back, watch the carnage unfold, and just keep chipping away. And I think he was in like P8 or something when that happens. That's a really solid result for them, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just thinking back to festive Christmas headgear randomly as well.
Oh, hang on. Can I BRB for one set?
Yeah, this is what everyone's really waiting for. So what will happen now then is the drivers have 10 minutes just to basically reset, try some different setups if they want to, some little adjustments. So they get just under 10 minutes, of which we're already a couple of minutes into, just to have a little break. And it's quite intense. Some of them most of them are in VR, which is a bit like having a crash helmet on. In many respects, a bit of weight on your head, gets very hot, holds heat quite a lot. Plus, concentrating for that amount of time, people tend to get quite hot anyway. So just helps have a little reset, and then they'll head out for race 2. I just noticed that Climpton's got his Fellas Racing livery on there with the Suzuka kind of special. So we done a race at Suzuka a little while ago. You can probably hear some rattling in the background. You'll find out what that is in a moment.
Bells.
Bells, jingling.
Corona can't take this away from me. Do you want one?
No, I'm all right.
Sure.
Let everyone see your wonderful headgear.
It's Christmas.
Paulina said. Paulina's voted for driver of the day for Danny. I think we'll just take we'll take that. Oh, Phil's here. Phil, I was wondering where you was. Good to see you. I've got a nice little screen down here for anyone that's watching for the first time. I can see any messages that you type through. So Phil is on YouTube, so is Paulina. Rebecca was over on Facebook earlier on. Not sure if she's still watching. But yeah, we're good, Phil. We're, I'd say, ready for Christmas. I've still got a day of work still for myself. But Charlotte's loving life, as you can see. Got some bells on the go as well.
That's nice. Look, it's heading off though.
Oh my goodness. This is what we've come to.
Sure you don't want one?
Well, maybe for the end. Well, who would have been? Well, I think I know who your driver was for that one.
Yeah, 100% Danny Price. I think like Chrissy Palmer did a fantastic job, but I just think you can't take credit away from starting pretty much at the back of the grid and ending up, P12. It's a solid effort in the rain as well. Yeah, you've got to dodge quite a lot at turn 1 usually, haven't you, with that one? What would be handy just to know is if Michael Curran is actually on track at the moment or not. You guys can't see it, but Ben will be able to let me know in the background. Phil's got half a day left. Yeah. I wonder how much people get done on that last day before Christmas, to be fair. Well, I guess Christmas Eve people still work as well, don't they? I've actually made a point of having that off this year. Right, Curran is available. Can we see his livery or not? Can you see it if you go a bit closer? I think I could just about make out a Campari logo on the front, but I'm not sure. It's kind of like you've got a version of it on the server there, Mr. Race Director. I just like to keep on top of everyone, make sure he's doing his job. No, see, it's missing stickers. That's got a nice Italian flag over the top of that car normally. This is just outrageous. I'm really sorry, everyone. On Ben's behalf, I must apologise. The abuse we're getting through our headphones right now.
Sorry, this is going to drown his sorrows with Monster Energy drinks.
That's right, I've already got our Christmas presents off of you.
Right, let's have a chat with Michael Curran. Anyone has any other questions for us, for the drivers, for Ben, then put it in the chat.
If you'd like Mackenzie to put a special piece of headwear on as well, maybe vote for it.
Yeah, if someone comments for me to put some headwear on, I'll put some headwear on. That's fine. Don't know how it'll go with my headphones, but we'll figure it out. Right, let's see if Michael Curran's around or if he's done a runner to disappear for a minute. Mr. Michael Curran, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Oh, incredibly loud.
We just said that was loud.
Sorry, you just deafened us there in commentary box, but all good. How was that race for you? It was obviously one thing I would like to talk about, but just in general first.
Yeah, well, God, to be honest with you, I was just wanting it to be over. It was really, really stressful. Just, I haven't done a lot of practice in the rain around there. I've done a wee bit, but not a lot. So I was a bit late in tonight again. So I was just straight into quali, straight into race, and I was just, tyres were overheating as well, which wasn't helping. But yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. Yeah, we saw a few drivers kind of driving onto the wet line to, I guess, cool their tyres. So would you say, was that like sort of half race distance onwards, or was it most of the race, or was it an issue? Well, it was the fast right-handers coming up towards the finish of the lap. They were the left rear just really, really warm every lap coming through there, and it was taking practically the full lap to cool down again. So, yeah, moving lines a wee bit, try to get cooled down a bit before just hitting that section, because I don't think there's anything you can do through there, just because obviously the way the corners aren't, how fast they are, they were just getting really hot. So.
Yeah, it's quite a fast bit of the track. Cool. The other thing as well that was hard to try and make out on the stream was the incident towards the end of the race with the AMG of Roth. It looked like he was on your outside, and it was hard to tell whether you kind of come across, didn't see him, or he turned in to the rear quarter of your car. Like, what was your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so I'd given him room. He spun in front of me at the end of the lap before. I actually thought he was a back marker until he was right on my tail, and I realised, oh no, wait a minute, he's actually fighting for position. So I went a wee bit wide into the first right-hander, which he was right on my tail, so I knew he was there, and he was on my outside, coming through the fast left-hander after the two rights, coming down to start going on to the straight. So I knew he was there. I was trying to give him room, and I was trying to give him room into the braking, but when I went into braking for the hairpin, I just moved out ever so slightly just because I was on the brakes, and then I think that's when he's hit me. So it's just one of those things, unfortunately.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Because I wasn't sure which way I was going to go. I mean, I kind of thought no one probably did it deliberately, but he maybe could have given you more room. But
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I know you've got another race to get sorted for, so I shall let you drop that down into the other box, and we'll catch up with you later, mate.
Cool, thanks very much. Praying the rain goes off. Cheers, cheers, guys.
Will do, cheers. Oh, there we are. A briefly very loud Michael Curran, but we parted. I don't know if that would have been the same for everyone on the stream, but it just about blew my ears off just now. There we are, but managed to get the volume put down a little bit, so we're all good. Well, there we are. So expectations for race 2 then. Currently raining in practice in game, just having a look. But yeah, what do you think, Charlotte? Who's your money on? What do you reckon?
I think Stallman's going to have a point to prove. I think he's always very good at this, isn't he? When things don't go his way in race 1, I think Danny Price, I think, will qualify better, i.e. put a lap in. So I think that's going to give him much more of an opportunity. So I could see a really, really good position finish for him as long as he stays out of trouble with it. And I think Neil Kidd will get another solid position if it stays wet as well, because I think, you know, he's someone that you'd want in an endurance race with you.
Yeah, he is good.
Yeah.
Just watching somebody spin on the in-game footage there, but we'll check that out. And in fact, if you are just joining in or you're kind of new to this, let's just bring the timings up again so you kind of know what's happening for the rest of the evening. But we're literally a couple minutes away from starting the next qualifying session. As you can see, the drivers have a 15-minute qualifying, very short interval where they can just kind of adjust the fuel loads and things like that before they then head into the race and begin the second 30-minute race. And this is a championship, so it's going to be 5 races, 2 races here, excuse me, and then 2 races at the following race at the famous Monza circuit, and then it will culminate in a 19-minute endurance event at Imola in about a month and a half's time. So racing every other week at the moment. So if you enjoy this, you want to come back and watch some more, then join us in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll be doing it all again over at Monza. But how long have we got at the moment? So yeah, just literally about a minute, and the guys will be starting in qualifying soon. We'll try and get a bit more of an onboard lap around the track for you this time. I've just seen John Stallman on the comments has said that he likes your Christmas outfit.
Thank you. At least I take part in the festive tea.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to get some extra points.
By the way, my mum said she'd go to me to put something on, so.
Well, give me some thank you before we cut away. Oh, we have to come back to us on the camera, won't we? Back to the studio.
Hang on, I've got another outfit for me.
There we are. There we are. Nice and Christmas.
I feel like I'm like Beyonce or something. A different outfit change.
Yeah, I mean, there we are.
I don't know if it.
Oh, do I have lights?
Yeah.
There we are. Merry Christmas, everyone.
We wish I had that turkey hat that my godmom
Oh, that was brilliant, wasn't it? It was literally like having a Christmas.
The first family Christmas, you get the worst hat.
All right. Well, what about everyone in chat? Who would you like to see do well in the next race? Let's have some chats going on, please, everyone. It's the last race that we're going to do this year, or the last live stream this year. So let's see. Anyone got any Christmas jokes? What's the worst Christmas cracker joke that you can think of? Send them in. I want to read them out. Paulina, you must have a Christmas cracker joke for us, or you have the wonders of Google available to you at the moment as well. Give me something to read out. Or Phil, if Phil's not got bored and left again yet. Can you think of one? It's always hard to do it on the spot, isn't it?
Having Christmas dinner with you?
We'll hope the stream didn't pick that up.
Only joking. I feel like it's gone very quick, like from when you did this first stream to the end of the year. It seems, I don't know, it's just gone very fast, hasn't it, in very strange times. And
yeah, it's been a nice thing to have. Like I said, the community's been growing the whole time as well, which is really cool. You know, we've got more people on board. There's a few drivers sat in Discord at the moment. I guess it's a good time to say, as you can see kind of below us at this moment in time, it mentions the Discord. That is free to join. The links are dotted around on the different socials. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a link in the description. They're around from the link to the website on Facebook, and it's there on Twitch in the bios as well. So if you want to find it, you can come and join our Discord. It's free to join, of course. You can come in and get involved, either join the races or just get involved in, you know, some of the comments and the polls and some of that type of stuff. It's all about just having fun and a bit of community around, you know, this awesome game and racing and motorsport in general. It usually becomes a buzz during GT races in the real world, and everyone's chatting about it, or virtual races as well in this case. Recently, the other day, and Formula One, and basically, if you're a motorsport fan, it's a good place to come and hang 100%. Out. So come and say hi. But it looks like the guys are just getting.
It's COVID safe.
Pardon?
It's COVID safe as well.
It is COVID safe. Yeah, COVID safe racing. No face mask required. All right, so let's jump into the game anyway, because the drivers are just heading out for the second qualifying of this evening, ahead of the next race, and the drivers will have, or be about to have, the ballast applied from the success of the first race, which is 15 kilograms for Dom Stallman, 10 kilograms for 15 for Chrissy, 10 for Dom, and 5 for Heath, which you can see on the screen at the moment. Billingham just commented in chat that he would like to see himself do great in the next race. So there we are. And I think when I asked for Christmas jokes, Phil's answer was Heath and Sharman. So there you go. Charlotte's now watching puppy videos here in the commentary box.
So cute. Okay,
so what I would like to do is first of all check that I can hear in game. Yes, I can. My audio's been giving me wonders tonight in commentary box, but here we go. And then if we could just jump on to let's go with our previous race winner, shall we, Chrissy Palmer, and ride on board with him for a lap of the track. So that was good timing, because we're crossing the start-finish line of the track at the moment, heading into turn 1, Curva Corsa. Sorry, Variante del Parco, fast right into a tight left, and then it begins to open out a little bit. And the car wants to run off onto this, run off on the outside. You've got to try and not let it do that. Get it stopped for a very tight right-hand corner here. Lots of inside curves to use, but when it's slippy, you've got to be careful with that power. Double right, hits the second apex nicely, and he's trying to get the power down. You can see he upshifted to third early there, so he can get more power down and retain traction as we then run up this straight. The second longest straight on the track, so important to get it right. Heavy braking then as we approach a few corners into this lap. Slightly cambered in, so it's a nice corner, but then it drops off at the exit, so you suddenly run out of grip a little bit, and the car runs wide. We then have a double right-hand corner coming up, so you sort of brake in a straight line out from the first kick, get the car back for the apex for the second part, and this is one of the most important corners because look, we have nothing but straight ahead of us. So if you get that wrong, you then pay for it the whole way down that back straight. But we keep on going then through a fast, flat out right-hander. Bravely takes a bit of AstroTurf. The car handles it okay. Flat out through the next, then a bit of brakes, down a couple of gears, chucks it into the next bit. Again, using some of the curve, the car steps a little bit out, manages to hold it nice and tight, gets on the brakes, clips a nice apex on the inside, uses gear 1 to help the car just rotate that little bit, and then off we go and then into the fast left-hander for the penultimate corner of this lap. Again, a bit of curve and a little bit of runoff, as much as you dare take in this wet weather conditions. Fix the inside, and away we go then to round off this lap for what is looking like a 1 minute 43 flat almost. So good little lap there by Chrissy Palmer. Let's see what everyone else can do at the moment. Neil Kidd 2 seconds behind that. Bjorkman, the Swedish driver, down in 3rd place, also a couple of seconds off. But a new driver has just joined, H. Webb. That's a pubber, so not joined us before. Be interesting just to see what he's got going on. If we jump onto his car, shall we? So current pole sitter, Chrissy looking like he is going to go quicker this lap, but it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. So Webb currently provisional pole in Aston Martin. It's Italian tracks this championship, and mostly Italian cars. A couple of drivers will join without them, but most of the main guys that are competing in the championship are all in Italian cars. Hence, you can see there's a Ferrari in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Lamborghini 5th, and then the greater Lamborghini in 6th. Bjorkman is now down in 7th, and Murray in 8th. Charlotte's got a mission screw on her face now. I'm waiting to find out what it is.
I can't believe you still got that thing on your head.
Oh yeah, I'll take it off.
I was wondering how long that was going to last.
So Chrissy only a 10th off, Dominic Stallman 4 tenths off, but I know Chrissy is probably about to go fast at any second, which it looks like Webb is not. Let's see who else we've got going on down the grid. So Danny Price was pretty fast last time. Is he out on track qualifying this time? Can we find him out there?
Oh, the mother's just sent in a Christmas joke.
That's it. I didn't actually see it. Right, do you want to read it or should I read it?
So why did Santa ban fizzy drinks from his workshop?
Why did he ban fizzy drinks?
They were bad for his health.
Oh God. Actually, where is it your mum's from again originally?
I'm not brave enough to go into that, and I don't feel like you should be counted.
I just feel like elf and health
yeah,
kind of makes sense for her to say that joke. Just wait and see what comes through now on my phone.
What do you get if you cross Santa with a duck? A Christmas quacker. Freaking hell. This is what COVID's done to us.
Yeah, there we are. Right, so Danny Price currently not set a lap time, which is interesting as we are 8 minutes left on the clock. So we're approaching halfway through this qualifying session, and it looks like a good part of half the grid nearly haven't set a lap time yet. And the reason that often is that when you go a little bit wide, run off the track, cut a corner, anything like that, the game actually invalidates that particular lap time, so it doesn't count, because you could have gained an unfair advantage by that off-track moment. So that's why they generally don't have a lap time on the board at this stage in qualifying, because you would definitely want one in ideally. You often find some drivers, the more experienced ones, will go out and do what you call a banker lap, banker with a B, to make sure that they get the car somewhere half reasonable up the grid, but not push too hard that they're likely to go wide and invalidate their lap, and then they try and set a faster lap time after that. So qualifying is very much an art in itself too. It looked like there was two cars having a bit of a scrap there with Webb on the back of, I think that was Billingham. But Billingham looks like he's, it looks like Webb's backed off now.
Yeah, I think this is something that we talk about quite a lot in qualifying, don't we? We seem to see this pattern where people take a long time to put a lap in. It's like you say, get that banker lap in. Like, you've kind of got the luxury in this more so than I think you have in the real world of doing that, and then you can kind of build on your lap, where the reality is in the real world, or whatever you want to call it, you realistically have 2 laps, don't you? Depending on what form you're in, what tyres, X, Y, Z. But You know, the difference is here, if someone has a crash, it doesn't cause a red flag. Whereas in the real world, if you have a crash, it could cause a red flag, and that's it, qualifying, stop. There's a lot of different variables that you don't get in this that you would get.
Yeah, that's true. So you've got to do it early.
You know, not to say it's easy, but just it's different.
Yeah. As much as I'm loving seeing Harry Webb in the pit lane, could I request that we go and...
Yeah, no, and recently I was just talking to Ben in the background, I was like, who is that? Because I used to be in a team with someone called Harry Webb, so I was just being nosy.
Yeah, I recognise the name as well.
Yeah. Back in my RL days, Tony Kart.
Karting days, yeah. Well, that is Dominic Stallman chasing around another Aston Martin at the moment, actually. So, well, it's mostly Italian cars. There was a couple others in there. That's not Harry Webb, though, because he's just left the pit lane. So that is another Aston Martin somewhere. Not one of the regulars. So at the moment then, with not too long left, we've got Chrissy Palmer on provisional pole. He went faster by about half a second margin on Dominic Stallman. Oh, makes that 3/10. It's just switched across. Who's currently second. Harry Webb in third. Roland Stallman in fourth. Bit of a hard race for Roland after a bad opening couple laps in that first race. So good to see him at the sharp end of this.
I get the feeling Roland probably isn't getting as much time testing as what it was before.
Yeah, potentially. I've not seen him on as much. I know they've done a few other races lately in some of the other leagues that are out there. So they've got some seat time, but not necessarily around here in Misano. Interesting that we've got another wet race, like I was saying, after the drivers testing in the dry all week. But I think for the Italian series, the Winter Series, this time of year, it's quite apt, isn't it? As we see Dom a bit
squiffy there.
Bit squiffy.
That's technical term.
So, what's your favourite livery so far? So there's actually been a couple of ones.
Sorry, like pink. It would go with my helmet as well.
I don't know if it is pink or if that's just the way the stream's picking it up.
Well, if it's the way I'm looking at it, then I really like it. I think it's quite subtle, so it's cool. I think as well, the Sheba Garage livery looks really cool. Slightly different, quite easy to identify who's who with them. What about? Well, I think I know who yours is going to be.
I'm not going to say InGear Motorsport if that's what you mean.
No,
I literally had about 20 minutes to do that earlier. Such is the wonderful life that I lead sometimes. But the West Midlands guys is probably what I go for, the Warbirds with the sort of big menacing mouth on the front of it. Because what they were telling me is that you can see it in the rear view mirror when you're driving. You can see the mouth of the car.
Yeah, that's clever, isn't it?
So it looks quite intimidating. Oh, I've just had a message from your mum. Oh, she said she loves me. Thank you, Claire.
Don't think that's quite what was said in the message, but
I love you too. Bless her. I mean, actually, we did have Martin commenting in the chat at one point, didn't we? But
I think they're trying to deal with a puppy that's going having a mad half hour at the moment. So let's not try anything else. Yeah. I was expecting Don Stallman to have put a faster lap in by now, 9/10 of Chrissy Palmer.
He is up this lap though.
So is this a lap that he's going to do it? I hope so, because otherwise, Chrissy, I know obviously good for InGear Motorsport and good for him as well. But I
think due to the unique way that our live streams are funded, I can't quite make out through the pixelated screen how much he is currently up on his lap. But that green section at the top, it just about showed me 1.3 tenths there. It's just gone 0.7. So he's only just a little bit up on his lap time. So he's not going to find the 9 tenths that he needs. But Webb has gone faster. Webb currently in second place. Chrissy's just gone faster again as we're coming into the closing stages of qualifying. So it's all getting quite close.
He's on fire at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. And I know he wasn't particularly happy when he got caught up in a few incidents, no fault of his own, in the last couple of races. So I think he's definitely wanted to do well tonight. So I did say to him as well, he needs to put his finger out and get some InGear Motorsport wins on the board, because we're falling behind otherwise. But yeah, strangely quite enjoying seeing an orange coloured Ferrari go around. Mo was saying earlier it's normally in red, but I think it works. It's got some red on it. Chris usually has a bit of red, and his sponsors' Movatech stickers are there somewhere. Again, depends on the quality.
It's just very weird seeing a Ferrari in orange.
Oh, come on.
A Lambo in orange, yes, but a Ferrari in orange, no. But I'll let you have it, so.
Thank you.
That's okay. Anytime. So Harry is now, or H Webb, Harry Webb is now 8/10 off of Chrissy Palmer. Stallman's now second off. You never see Stallman a second off, ever.
Yeah.
Are Stallman 2 seconds off?
They still are fast in the rain, but I think they definitely don't have the edge quite as much in the rain. So definitely helped a few of the other guys out a little bit. What I am surprised at is the likes of Curran and Murray, even Neil Kidd aren't a little bit quicker in this sort of condition, because they are normally thriving in the wet weather. But I know they've also had some other races on lately. They've also been driving a number of different cars lately. You know, there is differences in the cars. They've got to adapt to that. They were doing a 9-hour race at Imola at the weekend, Shiva Garage guys. So, you know, they're coming off the back of that. I was in an NSX on a different track, that was Imola. So, yeah, they've had to adapt, I guess, to this. Probably not done the normal amount of testing that they would.
Yeah.
And I think that is showing a little bit, because they were, as we were saying before, that probably a tiny bit closer, especially in the rain. So they'll be looking to try and make up a little bit of ground there in the race, and potentially for the subsequent races. Interesting that Danny Price had all that pace in the last race as well, pace in the race, but yet isn't. I can't see him at the moment, but we could do bring him the leaderboard up actually and just have a quick look, and then we'll be going off to get ready for the race very shortly. Can you see him on there? Maybe race director can help me out in my ear.
Yeah, I'm looking. I can't see him on there. Big old
28
grid.
for the moment. Yeah, hasn't put a lap in. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, the rest of the drivers are just finishing off their qualifying laps at the moment. They do get to finish it as the clock clicks down to 0. Anyone that is currently on a lap gets to finish their lap, which is currently Dom Stallman. As one of them looks like first and second are in the pit lane, so it'll only be if someone pulls an absolute blinder out of the bag somewhere. But at the moment, that's looking like the order, but we will come back and check on it very shortly after a quick ad break. Welcome back, everyone. Then it's the final race of the night. Welcome along to what is shaping up to be quite an interesting one after the carnage of race 1. It wasn't necessarily even carnage; it was just absolute, just fun, I guess. Cars overtaking and people losing track position towards the end. But anyway, the grid looking nice and interesting for this one. Chrissy Palmer, even with the ballast, which we forgot to mention.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Since the start, is on pole, so well done to him. Webb coming in last minute in P2, Stallman right at the sharp end still at P3. A bit of a reverse from last time actually in grid positions. Will they do the same for the race result? Foster in 4th, Renard in 5th, Roland Stallman, other Vegas Imports driver in 6th, Pratt in 7th, Curran in 8th, Heath down in 9th after such a strong finish last time, Duart in 10th, Van Kuyk in 11th, Melvin for Team 1 Racing, Year 1 Racing, sorry, 11th, Murray in 13th, Bjorkman 14th, Simpson 15th, Kidd 16th, K.B is back again in 17th, Berenguer in 18th, Cafe in 19th, Billingham in 20th, Sharman 21st for West Midlands Racing, John Kidd for Shiva Garage in 22nd, Casalonga in 23rd, Balladini in 24th, Efflo in 25th, Primon in 26th, Bennett in 27th, Danny Price didn't get to set a lap in 28th, and Trob in 29th. So there you go, 29 cars start the grid, 30 started for the first race. Grid. Another big grid.
Strapping people, first corner.
I mean, don't jinx it, they were all right last time. We got about 20 seconds before they start their formation period, so they'll be, again, working out fuel, making sure they're happy with it all. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win the race. Or if you have a Christmas joke, send it through, because we haven't had that many yet. I'm desperately trying to think of someone. I'm normally great for a rubbish joke like that, but I can't think of one. I'll have to keep racking my brains. Who's your money on for this race then?
I'm going to say Stallman.
Really?
Chrissy's very dominant, isn't he, pace-wise? But I don't know. I don't want to jinx Chrissy.
Okay, well, Chrissy is the orange Ferrari on the left-hand side of your screens. Alongside him is Webb in the sort of purple and bluish-coloured Aston Martin. The white Ferrari behind Chrissy is Dominic Stallman, then Foster is behind him. Green lights are out. We're racing for the second race tonight. Looks like Chrissy's got away to a pretty decent start. Going to get the inside line for turn 1, but that puts Webb on the inside for turn 2. Chrissy has to yield, actually, and the Aston Martin gets around the outside and finds a whole boatload of grip out there and jumps into the lead then. Looks like Foster and Renard having a bit of a tussle as Dominic Stallman nearly loses the car there. Back end coming out, and you can see he lost a bit of time because of that. But 4th and 5th having a bit of a fight between each other at the moment. Looks like Foster's dropped back a place there. And is that Kidd coming through in the middle of the pack? I'm not quite sure there. Curran certainly having to work quite hard in his Lamborghini, that couple places further down. And Drucker in the number 93 McLaren having a good start as well. Again, looks like the top 10 at least got away very cleanly, which is good to see. But Harry Webb was the winner of that first turn. I don't know where he got that grip from on the outside. Kind of almost caught Chrissy napping a little bit. Chrissy won't like that. I'll be trying to find his way back through. So easy to make a mistake, especially in these opening laps. You don't know kind of where the track's at yet. Even in the virtual world, the track changes session by session, and this simulates a race weekend, so the race is a good few hours on. It's now 6 PM in the evening, the temperature will be dropping, and the conditions will be changing every lap. So Webb's the one that's going to sort of be discovering that first. Chrissy gets the luxury of pressing the brake pedal second at every turn they come to. But looks like they've got a good start to the two at the moment, dropping Stallman by about a second. We did see Dominic Stallman in race 1 had a bit of a slower start and then had more pace towards the end. So it might be something to do with setup.
Yeah, Webb looks like he's got some major pace out, like compared to qualifying till now. You know, they're not even having to swabble at the moment, which is really good because they can just kind of crack on, get on with it, try and establish a little bit of a gap from Stallman at the moment. Stallman's probably sat back there in P3 at the moment, hoping that they are going to get in a bit of a swabble for everything to bunch up a little bit more. But yeah, as you say, Webb was definitely the winner out of that. I don't know where he got that from.
Yeah, just found a script around the outside. Yeah. I can see a train 3 cars back. I think Foster is at the lead of it. I want to keep an eye on the Chrissy and Webb gap, but let's not miss out on some of the other action going on as well. If we just jump a couple of cars back. Yeah, there you go. Look, so you've got Foster at the front in the AMG, just squiffing off to the side, as you might say. Nearly rejoining into the side of Pratt.
Now, I would say that is massively borderline what he just did there, and if that was in, well, regardless of whether it's in the real world or not, that definitely needs to be kept an eye on Mr. Race Director there, because that was a very aggressive move. So you're only allowed to do that a couple of times in a straight.
I think he lost traction, in all honesty. And
I know, he went out and then straight back in.
Maybe.
Yeah, that brings back memories of a certain person, Shenton straight, trying to do a right hand out from it, and yeah, that doesn't sit well.
Interesting. Yeah, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that, and Race Director in the background is at liberty to issue penalty should he so desire.
However, I do really like that he's livery in that GT3 with the purple there. Very nice. I'll give you points for that one.
Totally right. And that is Curran in the Lamborghini, the white Lamborghini, all over the back of that Mercedes there, then trying to find a way past. Slightly out of position, I would say, Curran, and he's got Melvin behind him. So 1 car back again. From what we're looking at the moment, or 2, the Lamborghini is
Now, do you think that Melvin in his head is probably thinking, right, just let's cling on to the back of Curran there and just follow him through when. And I don't think it's an if. I think it's probably a when that he'll try and bunch up and gain that move. I think it's quite obvious though that Pratt and Foster, you know, I would bank a little bit of money on here that these two, someone's not going to end up coming off too well out of this the way it's going at the moment. You know, we just get that vibe.
Yes, I'm just keeping an eye as well. I see Chrissy is about 6/10 up, behind. Still, Stallman 2.5 seconds back. So first and second, no change yet. As we see Foster running a bit wide there and the AMG getting a little bit squirrely. As we look over the big looming rear wing, Curran's Lamborghini chasing us currently with the car we're riding on board with. One of the big differences between a GT3 car and its road-going equivalent is the big rear spoiler helps generate some downforce and shoves the rear tyres into the ground at speed. Generally speaking, when you sort of get over 60-70 miles an hour or faster, it starts to generate a substantial amount of downforce to give you more grip, and you go faster through the corners. Pardon?
Christmas joke.
Oh, we've always got time for Christmas jokes.
Okay, what is the best Christmas present in the world?
Me?
Definitely not. A broken drum, you just can't beat it.
A broken drum, you just can't beat it. Nice. I can't believe my mind's gone so blank. Come on, there must be some Christmas jokes coming in the live.
That's right, I've just got another one being sent through to me now. So, what do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire?
Frostbite.
You just read my chat.
It looks like Curran is having a look up the inside into turn 1 on Foster.
And
looks
get
like
that
he's
camera
made that
angle changed.
stick, but we're sticking on the rear view camera at the moment because we can't see. Race Director's gone home for the year. Oh no, he's back.
That's right, it's just had a quick sip of Monster.
Yeah, he's just having some Monster, you're right. Monster Energy, a fantastic energy drink, which we'd be privileged to sponsor in a more serious capacity, should they ever wish.
And who's that on the back of Foster at the moment? Is that
Heath.
Melvin? Yeah, Melvin's all over the back of Foster at the moment.
Yeah, let's potentially have a little look on board with Melvin, shall we? We've not seen too much of him since the first race. Very good driver, had a good result in the Porsche Cup. At times, certainly had good pace. Just seeing if I've had any jokes come through on my chat. We can see what everyone's saying as Melvin gets very close to the back of Foster. You can just about reach out and touch that AMG there, even though we're doing probably close to 150 miles an hour as we go through this flat-out right-hand kink at the Misano circuit. Then for a second flat-out right-hander, and then we start thinking about pressing the brakes for a little bit. Oh, that was a brave little bit of brake mid-corner there for Melvin. You can see the car twitch and squirm. It's pushed him a bit wide there onto the slippy stuff, and struggled just a moment there, but well held through what was actually quite a scary moment, I imagine, in car. It might not have looked it, but that could have gone wrong very, very fast. So if you're watching, then tonight, first of all, thanks for watching. Second of all, you can vote for Driver of the Day very soon. We've got a vote for Danny Price from Paulina already locked in there. And after that first race alone, I think he deserves that one. We'll have to check to see how he's doing in this race shortly. As Melvin gets quite a good run through turn 1, takes a lot of curve. And it's interesting seeing whether different cars gain and lose on each other. Looks like everyone's being fairly reserved at this moment in time, running in a little bit of a train. Not too many risks being taken at this early stage of the race, which is probably the way to play it. Saw a little bit of shimmying around to start with, so let's just briefly afford ourselves a moment to check out what everyone else is up to. First of all, what's the gap between Chrissy and the leader? Oh, Melvin getting a little bit of a handful of oversteer there.
Sorry. So Mr. Race Director's just let us know the background there. So car 172 has just been disqualified for driving the wrong way round. Brilliant.
Meanwhile, you join a battle for the lead that's now become just about a 3-car battle. I wouldn't be surprised if Webb is going a little bit defensive, which is then allowing Dominic Stallman to come back into the fray. Luckily, the car going the wrong way around the track hasn't caused any issues then for these guys. Yeah. Luckily, the game grabs that quite quickly and just kicks them straight out.
Well,
I mean, no one would do that in the real world, I imagine, but you never know. The closest was that time that a Volkswagen
I was
Golf
just going to
joined
say that.
Brands Hatch. Yeah.
Brands Hatch, yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, the race leader runs wide at the last corner. That's going to bring Chrissy into contention. Will he have a move looking into turn one? Maybe not close enough, but he has got the run on him. And Dominic Stallman will be ready to pounce on any opportunity that's given to him at the moment. The car in second then, the orange Ferrari of InGear Motorsport's Chrissy Palmer, is running 15 kilograms of success ballast. So his car is a little bit heavier and therefore handicapped to the car ahead, which has got none. And then Dominic Stallman has got 10 kilograms in the car behind, finishing second in the last race. So the cars currently in second and third are the ones fighting for the championship, and Harry Webb has joined as a guest driver or a public driver for this particular race. So strong showing from him for his first race with us. Although I think he may have actually slipped in a couple other races before too. But Chrissy struggling to find a way past at the moment. And I'm not sure if he's just not risking it. Or...
Yeah, I don't know if he's just not risking it or something, but he's literally, I mean, there's a sheet of paper between them really, isn't there, when you think about it, 3 attempts. Chrissy's car looks very, very settled. It looks settled, totally. I don't think Stallman's got the pace of Chrissy and Harry. I think he's just got onto the back of them because of it, because you can see a little bit more of a gap has just formed there. So he's about a second-ish off of Chrissy at the moment. Now, whether he's just hanging back a little bit to wait for that mistake, but I don't think he would.
No, he'll probably want to get closer if he can. But yeah, no, looking good so far, like you say, for Chrissy, just nice and calm and collected, just waiting, I think, to find a clean move past. You can see the guys running onto the wetter surface again, and as Karen was saying, the tyres were overheating quite quickly during the other race. So track looks fairly similar this time. The conditions don't change a great deal from one to the other, so it's quite likely that they're struggling with tyre temps at the moment. And you'll see, yeah, they're holding it to the right-hand side. That could be for being a little bit defensive on Webb's part, but I think they are just trying to keep their wet tyres from getting too hot. So, I mean, if anyone's watching doesn't know what happens when tyres get too hot, what would you say that feels like?
It's not a comfortable experience, really, is it? You're kind of just hanging on. You know that the tyres, they're there, but they can, in an instance, they can just go away from you. So you think you've got grip, you think you've got it, you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden you put a little bit of power in when they go swift. I don't know whether you feel the same, but I would much rather have oversteer, so the back of the car stepping out, than I would understeer. I hated it if my car was not dialed in enough that I was suffering with understeer, especially in the wet.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes more because the back would be snappy, but I agree. Yeah. It feels so slow if you're understeering through a corner. And you just feel like you feel hopeless that you can't do anything. So at least with oversteer, you can kind of control it and keep going. But,
I actually really enjoyed racing in the rain, though. It was actually something that always made me feel very, very uncomfortable, and I was very nervous about sort of in my early time of racing. But actually, when I realised it's probably maybe some of my stronger races that I had was in the wet, that's when you just kind of settle in. And actually, when it feels slow, it actually is sometimes a bit faster, as backwards as that seems, because it's all just about being super smooth, super calm, just not losing your head with it, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm a big fan of the rain as well to race in.
Apart from getting wet if you're karting.
In go-karts, yeah. Back in the day.
Go-karts?
Soaking wet.
Go-karts?
Karting.
Is that go-karts like the ones that you go on a stag and hen party? Those cars?
Might be what you've done, but I done something a bit different. Poking that stick again.
It's not too late to return those Christmas presents, my friend.
It's not a stick, is it?
It will be.
I can't believe, chat, there's people watching and we haven't had a Christmas joke from anyone yet other than the parents.
Yeah, they've googled it. My dad's not even subtle enough to not take the number
Paulina,
away from it.
Paulina, Phil. I mean, Don won't be watching now because he's racing.
Yeah, he's a bit tied up at the moment.
Rebecca was there earlier. Come on, someone must have a Christmas joke for us to read out. This is the last one of the year. I want a Christmas joke from someone. I want the best Christmas joke. And driver of the day vote, as Chrissy is challenging for the lead now then.
Funny enough, I was just thinking, half a second off now, but that's a little bit delayed. Like you say, it goes in splits. He's starting to seriously think about this.
Looking like, can he make it stick? Webb goes to the inside and is going defensive. Chrissy's had a couple very strong attempts at trying to get past now at the moment. But for a fairly small Aston Martin, he's making it incredibly wide at the moment. Doing a good job of keeping...
Chrissy's also making that Ferrari look very, very wide in his mirrors, though. And he's good at being able to throw people off. He's aggressive but fair.
Yeah, fantastic race though to watch at the moment. This one between these two, they've kept it like you say, firm and fair. They've had a look at each other as Webb goes a bit wide. Chrissy will be then getting tempted to try the inside. Webb has no choice but to yield after that little bit of a run wide. Oh, and I thought he was going to rejoin a bit too close there, but tucked back in the right sort of place. And then Chrissy Palmer takes the lead then for the first time in this race, but the second time this evening after a very good, strong result. The first one, the car with 15 kilograms of ballast is back into the lead.
So Chrissy, he wasn't happy that it's raining, Chrissy.
Yeah, same Chrissy.
All right, okay.
I'll ask him afterwards if we can get a hold of him and see what he says. He'll probably say, "Oh, I'd still prefer the drive," but I don't know. Maybe he'll.
He's always very like.
He's very chill.
Chill, isn't he? Yeah.
Very chill until he's not chill.
Cool. Yeah, one of them. Yeah. Cool. Right, now we've seen that move that we've been waiting for the last couple of laps be done, and it's actually stuck. Let's head back to sort of further down the grid. So maybe let's check in with Neil Kidd and see what the Sheba Garage guys are doing. And
Neil Kidd's about to put a move on Van Kuyk, I reckon, and he's got Klimpson behind him in the Suzuka Special Nissan.
He missed it. It was Italian week this week.
Yeah.
It's alright, we'll let him off.
It's nice actually that most of the guys are all in Italian cars
cool.
for the Italian track and the Italian series, so yeah, it's quite good going. So yeah, Neil Kidd then in the grey and yellow or black and yellow Reiter Lamborghini, trying to go up the inside. Now I've just had a message from Liam Sharman saying "oops" on Twitch, which could only mean one thing. Liam, what happened? Also, Liam, no one's given us a Christmas joke yet, and I'm really upset.
So Liam just said, tried to re-enter and it's disqualified me, so I'm not too sure what's happened there, but PC issues or server issues or something like that.
It wasn't the car going the wrong way around the track, was he? I hope not.
Liam, what car number are you? Let us know in Twitch. Just for you guys that are wondering who we're talking to, so we've got a portal where we can see all the different streams that we've got, so YouTube, Facebook. Liam's car 1 and 2.
Yeah, so the game thought Liam was going the wrong way. I'm not sure what happened there then. We'll have to review that one and see. But sadly, not a great deal we could do about it.
Stay with us though, Liam.
Yeah, come and watch with us. Join the Christmas stream as Neil Kidd.
Neil Kidd makes a mistake.
That'll be a little Christmas miracle for the cars following because it doesn't happen very often.
That does not happen very often at all.
Just about rejoins without causing too much drama there as I think that was Melvin in the black Lamborghini that had to kind of squirm out the way a little bit to get going again. But yeah, was the lead Sheba Garage car. Roland Stallman now behind him, then the second of the Vegas Sim Performance drivers in car number 5. Car number 5 that got a drive-through earlier. That's what happened to Roland Stallman. It's just pieced together in my head.
I missed that.
Yeah, he got a drive-through in the first race. That'll be why he ended up further down the grid.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, for purpose of people watching, we can't obviously see everything at once during the races. We have to look back on stuff afterwards, but I've just figured that one out based on they don't just click together. But anyway, right, so Melvin then, the black Lamborghini on the screen coming through at the moment, followed by the fluorescent yellow and black or grey Sheba Garage car of Neil Kidd, number 100, goes through. Roland Stallman closely behind him. So once again, a nice little mid-pack battle. Klimpson's just got himself a little bit of a gap ahead of that now after Kidd had that little incident, and Van Kuyk about a second up the road from him as well.
And where's John Kidd? Let's go a little bit further down. Where's Danny Price and John Kidd? Because we haven't seen much of them this race so far. So Danny Price there in P14 again, didn't set a lap in qualifying and has made it down to 14.
Yeah, I think that's a stonking effort.
He's not made this easy for himself, has he?
I'm wondering whether he just fancied doing that and he didn't qualify so he could come through the pack.
I mean, hats off to him if he did, because he's certainly doing the job there. I mean, that's one way to go about it and learn racecraft or whatever he's trying to do.
I love that Liam's just said over on Twitch he's going to order a curry and that's in for the night. So, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's Christmas time, why not?
Yeah. Roland Stallman come back through to 9th after that drive-through in race 1. It was a good effort. We were following it. We just didn't know what caused him to drop back in the first place at the time, but now we know. Liam, we're looking for Christmas jokes. And also, we've got a vote for Driver of the Day for Danny Price at the moment, coming from last to, I think it was 12th in race 1. Currently come from nearly last to running in 14th in race 2. So I think he's a strong candidate, but we're open to other votes, of course. If you can hear bells jingling on the microphone, panic not. Charlotte's just got a reindeer headset on.
I've got multiple. I'm trying to decide what my head outfit's going to be, because I think I'm on number 3 at the moment, aren't I? So I need to go out with a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So John Kidd then being closely followed by Murray at the moment. Interested to see what these two are going to do. Murray in the purple car, John in the car ahead. 2 Sheba Garage drivers, teammates. 2 Sheba Garage cars are always found running one after the other. You'll never find a Sheba car on its own. Well, very, very rarely indeed.
Very rarely.
So we'll see if Murray can make a move past. Looks like John actually got away a little bit there. I didn't catch what happened for these guys around the mid-pack at the start, because we were focused on the battle at the front and Chrissy losing the lead to Webb. But interesting to see then that John Kidd's back up into 14th. Again, you know, it's a good result for him, isn't it? A good race so far, if he can make that stick. Murray looking like he's thinking about having a look there, but couldn't quite make that stick up the inside of the last corner. So they begin then, what are we on lap number 11 now? So we're already over halfway through this race, just under 10 minutes to go, in fact, until the end of this. Again, been quite an interesting race. A few drivers changing, a few mistakes that have been quite costly for some, but not too bad for others. So John's looking pretty quick. Murray's having to push quite hard to get up onto the back of him here. Nice effort by John Kidd. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of corners. Otherwise, we should probably... Liam's got the same joke as your parents. And Murray has just made his way past Ben Kidd after those few corners. So David Murray gets through after a few quarters of trying, and is now released to see if he can try and hunt down Danny Price. So that is Sheba cars 1, 2 and 3, or 13th, 14th, 15th at the moment. Let's take a gander on back towards the front end of the grid then, shall we, and see how it's going. What sort of gaps Chrissy got? Has he still got the lead? Yep, still there at the moment then, so just under 2 seconds gap to Webb, and then Stallman has dropped back a little bit again as well. It's been interesting, it's like their pace comes on and comes off throughout the race. It must be tyre temperature.
They're having to do tyre management, aren't they? They're probably having a lap where they can, like, set a lap, if probably want for a better phrase there, but then the cost for that is that the lap after they're having to then cool the tyres down, so it's kind of that yo-yo effect, isn't it? It's going to just spring between them, but I think all of them are struggling with the same issue, no matter what car they're in. So you think we've got Ferrari, Aston, Ferrari, Lambo. They're all, they're all fighting with it, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been an issue for them tonight. And you can actually see watching where there's that dry line around the track.
Yeah.
And wet tyres are designed for not just driving in a damp surface, but a wet surface. So the tread in the tyre is designed to displace the water and push it out. And when there's no water on the track, they get very hot, and that sort of block of rubber moves around a bit too much, gets a bit hot, and then isn't able to keep tyres at a sensible temperature, and then that's the result of what happens. So, one moment.
A charging issue here, my laptop.
Okay, so Chrissy Palmer still in the lead at the moment. Webb in second place. Dominic Stallman in third. Curran is in fourth place. Heath is in fifth place. Van Kuyk in the AMG in sixth place. So a mostly all Italian car lineup for the top end of the field. And then Clinton in seventh at this moment in time. Kidd then in eighth after that little incident early on. It'd be good to actually jump back to Kidd and see how he's getting on. And see what we think. rain continues to come down then here in Misano at the moment. Oh yes, Liam, you can Christmas cracker jokes, yes. Alright, so we've got a vote for Roland Stallman at the moment as well, and Sharman is going for him, and that was Paulina that voted for Danny Price earlier on. So currently, 1 vote for Price, 1 vote for Roland Stallman. Unless we get a tiebreaker vote at some point then, between the 2 of those, or 2 for somebody else, then no one will get the point. But a couple of votes there for Driver of the Day, so championship points are up for grabs. As we watch Neil Craig cross the line. Alright, so shall we jump back up to, well, let's see where the action is actually. Clipson looks like he's about to have a bit of a fight with Van Kuyk. So we'll be able to get potentially some action there. That is the fight for 6th place at the moment. As we catch it,
that was lucky.
Yeah, it was good timing.
So Climpson put the move on there and made it stick, but Van Kuyk looks like I don't think that's over yet, does it? It looks like he's going to go for another attempt at some point through here.
Liam, we've not got Xmas jumpers, but we have got Christmas headwear. So you'll see that shortly.
Can I just say, not only have I had Christmas headwear, I'm on my 4th piece of Christmas headwear by the time the camera next comes on. So that's effort on my part. That's why if you keep hearing bells and stuff jingling around in the background, it's because I'm trying to decide what one.
Charlotte's just doing outfit changes between between races.
I was also trying to find an adapter for my headphones, but okay.
It's gone missing.
Should I finish up on this one and then like the same?
Right, there's 3 minutes left on this race, so we're getting distracted by headwear. But Liam, can't we just DSQ Danny for the wet weather? No, we can't. I don't think.
No, it's been good. I've been longing for a wet race for the last few races that we've done.
I think
so
everyone's
I'm
been
very,
a bit more
very
sensible
pleased.
in this one, so it has calmed down a little bit. But the first race, there was all sorts going on the whole way up and down the field. But looks like Clemson's got this this position done and dusted for the moment. Let's see where else there is some gaps. Curran's back up into 4th. Heath is the next car up the road in his Lamborghini for West Midlands Racing in 5th. So after a podium in race 1, Heath is on for another top 5 finish, which is a pretty good effort. As I was saying earlier, he's had some bad luck in a few of our races over the months we've been doing this, so it's so nice to see him get a podium tonight and then be in the top 5 again now. He's had the pace to do it, which is good. So yeah, again, if we could check. So Heath's about 20 seconds back from Curran. Stallman, Webb and Chrissy were fairly close last time I saw, and Kidd is actually quite close to Van Kuyk as well. So let's jump a couple of cars back to Neil Kidd, yeah. So I'm now getting offered another piece of headgear back in the commentary box.
Christmas time.
Perhaps we see an onboard view as we see Clemson having a bit of an issue with Van Kuyk there, and now Kidd is all over the back of Clemson. So once again, Neil Kidd just picking up those pieces towards the end of a race. 2 minutes left on the clock. Drivers will be starting their final laps of this race very soon. We currently have a tie break with 1 driver of the day vote for Danny Price and 1 driver of the day vote for Roland Stallman. So we need to get another vote in somewhere from someone if we're going to have a driver win the driver of the day point. I think that'll be the first time that's happened actually. It comes close a few times, but then usually somebody rallies up the troops and they get a load of votes.
I was going to make a Christmas suggestion.
What's the Christmas suggestion? That they both get a point?
Yeah. It's Christmas Eve.
Maybe. I'm sure if we change the rules on the fly, everyone will love that. I don't know. Maybe Liam can make this. What do you reckon, Liam? Christmas, they both get a driver of the day point? and then it's on you and not me then. If that becomes a championship.
Oh, it can be on me, I really don't care.
To be fair, I'd like to see someone take it up with you.
I really don't care. It's Christmas week.
Well, I thought Neil was going to have a bit of a go at Clemson here, but looks like wasn't able to do much about it. In fact, did we just miss something? Because it's now showing him as, oh no, yeah, 9 tenths back. And then Clemson's 10 seconds back from Heath. Curran's 4.7 back from P3. So it's all looking a little bit calmer. Let's just check back down with Melvin, Billingham, and where those guys are at, and then we'll pick up the leaders crossing the line on the last lap after that. So Melvin down in 11th at the moment in the black Lamborghini, the Dark Knight. I'm going to start calling him until he gets a more colourful livery, which I believe for Year 1 racing he is getting one made or coming very soon. So we'll have to look forward to. Murray then in 12th, Danny Price in 13th. So on to come up to maybe 12th, looking a bit out of the question at the minute, 18 seconds back from David Murray. But still, Sheba Garage car followed by Sheba Garage car, as we expect. John Kidd must have lost out a couple of places as well, because he was running 14th earlier. Melvin looked very, very wild there, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked.
I don't know if he's fighting a problem or what.
Squiffy or...
Might have just been the conditions. Maybe he's fighting a little bit of an issue with the car. Okay, well, let's find our leaders, shall we? Because they'll be crossing the line anytime soon. Wow, and Dominic Stallman has dropped back by 10 seconds.
I mean, Chrissy Palmer, come on, people, actually, when we think about it, a driver of the day.
Come on, people.
Like, he's got gained a 5 seconds.
20 seconds in the first race, or more.
Yeah. I mean, he had to work for this one a little bit more, arguably, but yeah, he's just looked absolutely solid. For someone that was not impressed that it was raining, he hasn't just turned up, he has shown up as my favourite Peloton.
That's not a thing. That's not becoming a thing.
It's a thing. No. Don't just show up, you gotta turn up.
Oh no.
It's a thing. Alex Peasock on Peloton.
I don't think the race director's been very quiet tonight, and all we get a few words of encouragement in my ear and tell me how great it is, but he just told me that Chrissy's crossed the line. Yes, he has. Chrissy Palmer wins the second race of the night.
Head off for InGear Motorsport.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a Christmas present early for us, isn't it? So InGear Motorsport takes 2 out of 2 tonight, thanks to Chrissy Palmer's sterling effort. Yeah. Not just winning, but like you say, pulling out a nice substantial gap.
So sorry, did he not just turn up?
Apparently he didn't just turn up. No,
he turned up.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Webb then splits the 2 championship contenders by putting himself in second, not currently racing in the championship for points, being not in an Italian car and just turning up as a guest driver for the race, which means Dominic Stallman will have to settle for 3rd place. And Michael Curran, solid points then, a 6th and a 4th for him tonight, even after that incident in race 1. So a solid points haul that will keep him in the championship fight for a few races to come yet. Good result for Clemson there. He's not doing necessarily the whole series, but comes 6th, so takes a few points away potentially from the likes of Kidd and Stallman. So Kidd coming in 7th, Roland Stallman in 10th. Good race by Roland. I think he did actually qualify a bit higher up than that, but compared to the first race, took home a couple championship points there that could be all important for either himself or Vegas Sim Performance in the team championship. Then for Sheba Garage crosses the line, David Murray, the purple Sheba Garage machine there, and Danny Price coming in 13th just behind that. Melvin was in the middle of those, we didn't see, but the Dark Knight, as we're calling him, crossed the line in 12th. So well done to Harry Melvin. But here comes Price then round the final corner on the power for the last time and goes to cross the line. Quite a few casualties in that race, considering 30 cars started, or 29 started again. 15, I think that says finished. Again, I'm not going blind, it's 15. We just prioritise the stream that you viewers see over what we see in commentary. So we're kind of like that. Or the race director just doesn't like me.
I was just saying.
I can hear him now. Funny enough, he piped up on that one. Race director said he'd love to know what everyone's favourite flavour of Monster Energy drink is. He said he thinks they're all fantastic.
And what their favourite sandwich is. Yeah.
He'd like to know what everyone's favourite sandwich filling is. He's funny like that. He does like to know what a good sandwich is, doesn't he?
Oh.
Is that Tom Stallman reversing into the pit lane?
Liam, he's taken a leaf out of your book there and he's going the wrong way.
Nice. Neil Kidd basically pushing him into the... oh, here he comes. I know what he's trying to do, but he didn't work. He was trying to do a J-turn there, but sadly that didn't come off. Dom, if you're wondering if we picked that up on the live stream, yes, we did.
Good effort for trying, though.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little end. That's the last thing you're going to see Dominic Stallman do on an InGear Motorsport stream this year, and it's worth watching. Wow, there we are. So everyone's crossed the line. That will then put Chrissy Palmer firmly into the lead of the championship. Dominic Stallman second in the championship, and Heath or Curran will be third.
Yeah.
We'll need to check the points afterwards. We don't have a whole team of people to do the maths.
I think it will be Heath.
I think it might be Heath because Curran come down to the 7th or 8th last time, didn't he? So Heath's had a 3rd and a 5th, which is, that's good for Heath, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like most people are back in the pits now. Awesome. So anything else there? John Kidd must have had an issue towards the end of that race. So he actually ended up in 15th. It doesn't show it quite like that on the screen at the moment, but he was. Just where different drivers are coming in and out of the server, basically, that is. What else have we got there? Billingham, we must have lost somewhere throughout that race as well. So, not sure what happened to Billingham, Mr. Krispy Kreme man. And, yeah, good strong showing then from most of the team, which was good to see. It's nice because, like I said, you have a number of cars start, but then they stick it out and they tend to come back through even if they're not as fast as some of the others. Well, I think we'll have a little look at doing some interviews in a minute and see if we can get Chrissy Palmer up for a quick chat before we wrap up for the year, in fact.
That's, isn't it?
Oh, so chat's been quiet about Christmas jokes, but Monster Energy got a couple of responses. So Pauline is a fan of white and green Monster for her. I'm a big fan of a can of White Ultra as well for myself. Monster Energy, please, anytime hit us up. Happy to stick a logo on the live stream for you so that the tens of people that watch can get some added exposure for you and we can enjoy it. And then Ultra Green or Rossi for the Rossi one. I've never tried the Rossi one, Liam, but have to give it a go at some point. So, should we talk about the end of the race?
Yeah.
I don't even know what headgear you gave me. What is this?
This is still the ho-ho.
Oh, still the Santa one.
There you are. His cheeks are flashing. I went for a smaller set of reindeer.
Yeah, they do jingle though. So, Chris Palmer, championship leader. Ben Meek was a fan of Ultra. Yeah, that's the white one, Ben. I know you're a fan of that, my friend. Race director over there on YouTube at the moment. Thanks, Liam. Appreciate the support. All right, well, just one last reminder that we have a vote for Danny Price and a vote for Chrissy Palmer. No, not Chrissy Palmer.
No, Stallman.
It was Roland Stallman, wasn't it? For driver of the day points.
And it is Christmas week.
I think because it's Christmas week, we're deciding that they just both get a point. So Charlotte's taking the rap for that one if anyone has a problem with it.
Feel free to message me on Discord. I'm sure I'll care a lot.
Sign up to Discord and have a chat. Or find her on Instagram and just send her some messages and see what she has to say for herself. No. Just
join our Discord and race. That'll be fun.
Yeah, well, if you enjoyed that tonight, that is a good point. The Discord is there for people to plan the races, join the races, sign up, enter, share custom liveries, chat about all things motorsport, racing, sim racing, Assetto, Corsa, Competizione, and more. So if you'd like to join and get involved, please do. And I'm going to see if I can bring Chrissy Palmer up and see what he has to say after a double race win. He should be quite happy. Let's see, shall we?
Yeah, drag him up.
Here he is, Chrissy Palmer. Welcome to Commentary Box. How's it going?
Hello, bud. How are you? I'm pretty good after that.
Are you happy, Chrissy?
Good. So happy with the rain then in the end?
Oh yeah, I came into practice and I said, "Oh, this isn't good." I hadn't done any testing at all. I didn't even change the setup. I just chucked the stock one on.
Nice.
And it obviously worked very well. They must have done a very good job setting the car up.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I was laughing because I joined the chat just as you were saying, "Oh no, it's raining," and then 2 race wins, mate. So
like dominant race wins as well. You know, 20-second lead in the first one and 5 in the second.
Yeah, the second one was really fun. I really enjoyed racing. I think it was Webb. Webb. Yeah, H Webb. That was a really, really good battle, and I didn't think I was actually going to get it at one point. So yeah, I'm very happy with the results.
Yeah, how were you sizing up the move on him? Because you kind of spent, like, say, a few laps behind him, and we weren't sure if you were going to do it. But like, how did that come about? Were you just waiting for a mistake, or did you know where he was weaker? How did it work?
To be honest, I was waiting for a mistake, but also trying to gauge where I could get him and where he was better than me. He was clearly quicker than me at the end of the lap, but I seemed to be quicker at the start. So I was trying to figure that out. But I think my tyres came on just after I got past him anyway, or just before, so that might have helped. But
yeah, nice. I think tyres were a hard one in that as well. I mean, how did you find tyre pressures? Were you having to cool them much?
I was cooling from the start, trying to remember to cool from the start, just because I didn't want to get them to get to the point where they were not nice, and then have to cool them down. But I had to a few times. It was really hot out there. Yeah, I was using the puddles a lot.
Yeah, nice. And I love that the game sort of simulates stuff to that detail. We were talking about it a bit, so it's good to see.
No, it's actually it's awesome. I was saying how real it felt driving in the wet. I really enjoy driving these cars on this game in the wet. It's just so much fun, and it feels so good. So cool. It is fun. And thank you for hosting it, like always, guys. A great event, as always. So thank you.
No, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure to do it. It was good to watch as well. I think the wet weather added a bit to it. Race 1 especially was pretty awesome to see. So yeah, no, it's cool. All right, well, I will catch up with you after, I'm sure, but I'll put you back down into the other box in a minute. See you in a bit, dude.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Bye,
have a good one.
See
ya. There we are.
Hello, Chrissy.
I think he was happy in the end, wasn't he?
It's nice to hear Chrissy happy. He's usually like very chilled. Like he'll do something very good in the real world. Like if we've done a really good like stunt display or something like that, and he'll just be like completely like
it's okay.
Chill, isn't it? Yeah, he'll be like, yeah, that was all right, wasn't it? So it's nice to kind of hear him be a bit more like enthusiastic about it.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. That was a good night of racing. I really enjoyed it. I thought everyone put on a good show, mostly very fair as well.
I was going to say very clean, because usually you'll see me like jumping in and out of the Discord boxes that people have, and didn't even go on tonight. So yeah.
Yeah, speaking of box, I can see that most of the others have quickly left the box. They must have not wanted to do an interview tonight. They've had enough. But yeah, cool. Well, I think, again, as always, I mean, thanks for everyone tuning in, watching, and commenting on the posts. Again, I can see it at the side and people what they have to say. So it's always good. It helps us out as well. Thank you to Mr. Ben Meekle in the background for putting up with our abuse and helping with race direction. It's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't hear him, but I can. But we'll be back, as I say, in a couple of weeks' time, but that will fall in next year. So I guess for me, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you have a good Christmas break, whatever that might be, given this strange situation we'll find ourselves in.
Stay safe and make the best of what it all is at the moment. It's a difficult time for everyone. Sim racing. So yeah, drop in for Discord chat or whatever if it helps anyone feel less lonely. Well, there's a lot of lonely people out there, and I know Christmas is going to be really difficult for a lot of people this year. So yeah, just stay safe. Yeah, just have the best time that you can, really. Yeah,
cool. And yeah, Discord's there.
See you in the new year, everyone.
I know, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this championship. But yeah, thanks one last time, and I guess we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son.
There we go, green lights, and we're off once again.
prodigal son. Bigger battle, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and flower, you're the chosen one.